The type of attention you get and who you get it from determines where we end up in life.
We are we got.
This has already been accepted at the University of Texas in Austin, electrical
In a
engineering.
community where the statistics aren't the best, the default isn't the best either.
The gentleman who's going to be on the field representing South San,
Defensive captain of the varsity football team.
Mr. Jesus Rendon.
His life to giving back to this community.
St. Joseph's Catholic Church Choir.
So I decided to start a nonprofit called Building a Purpose.
And if we can raise that default to be something of higher standards,
Help students find their purpose in life.
I think we can do something
We all we need.
special by
Welcome
default.
to the Jesus Rendon podcast, where we talk about life, purpose, and God. Our next guest here is a friend of mine who I've worked with for a couple years. His name is Sam Haynie, and currently is in the reserves and is a up-and-coming comedian in the San Antonio area. Sam, thanks for coming on,
Hey,
brother.
man. So happy to be here.
Good to see you, man. It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
What's popping right now?
What's popping right now? Well, it's funny you say reserves. I just came back from Florida. I was working for about a month and some change doing the kind of military side of the stuff. Because that's where moving to San Antonio kind of kicked off. Was I had joined the Air Force, was active duty, became a reservist, and then moved back to Texas to be closer to family.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 2 years here, and then I kind of hopped over to a different set of orders working with a different unit in Florida. So I was in Florida for like a month, and basically I wasn't doing any of my like comedy centric stuff. But right now I do a lot of appearances on podcasts. I improvise in Austin, and I'm currently producing a show of my own that I'll be putting on YouTube in the near-ish future. So, put this out in like 5 months and the show will probably be going. And then, yeah.
All right, man. That's cool. Well, I'm gonna ask some questions when we get there. But you're from Athens, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like growing up in Athens?
I would think it would. It's very small town. I grew up in a really big family, so the youngest of 6, so like 8 people in one house. So it's a lot.
Any other comedians?
Few that would claim they were, and
Okay.
some that wouldn't. Yeah, but we were raised Catholic, so that's why there were so many of us. But yeah, so from a big family, and we kind of gained like a bit of a reputation in the town as kind of like the Brady Bunch,
Okay.
like you'd see us all over town. Everybody kind of sort of knew who we were, more or less, knew us by our last name. And I would say generally I had a really easy, normal childhood growing up. And, really latched on to performing and being on stage from a really, really, really young age. And it was such a small town that it was just kind of a thing I wanted to do, but I never knew if it would be a career or a life or something I could do, not just for fun with my friends, But yeah, I grew up. I even went to my first 2 years of college there. It's like a small town plus a college town. So I like saved a bunch of money, got my associates there, and then moved to Chicago and lived there for about 4 or 5 years. But yeah, it's one of those towns where if I go back, I like to say that what was important to me about the town were the people, my family, and the kids and their parents and people that I grew up around. And when you go back, and for people that may have this experience of like growing up in a small town or a town and then moving away and coming back, it won't feel the same, and it never really has felt the same. I actually have a best friend from high school that's moved back, and then I have another friend who also moved back, and I think at this point it will feel a little more like, oh, the way I remember it. But man, it's like if I go back to my old home that I grew up in, it's like, who's that? What's that? So I think that was my experience growing up as a kid. It was really important that we had these strong familial and like friendship bonds.
You still keep in touch with any of your school buddies from back in the day?
Pretty much so I have had some pretty good friends that have come and gone. I had one of my better friends was actually my first girlfriend, and she and I we were the couple in high school that everybody was like, will they, won't they, are they gonna, they're either gonna get married or they're going to double homicide each other. We were very hot and cold, and we were just kids, and we grew up and started to live our own lives and reconnected as friends. And she just recently passed away from a long battle with breast cancer. But I mean, I don't.
So young.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Oh my God, it's 31. So, but she really lived life to the fullest. So I was really proud to, call her my friend. And then my best friend from high school he's gonna be my best man in my wedding. And
right on.
He's good people. He's a lawyer there in Athens, and one of my other friends, he and my best friend are gonna get together and start their own firm. So I'm hoping to like ride their financial coattails. When my career fails and crashes and burns, I'll come crawling back to Athens, being like, "You guys just like rent out a back cabin for me." Just hoping, they'll become like the next Morgan and Morgan, and then I'll do all their ads. So that's kind of the goal.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what you were going to say, instead of the guy from Corpus, Thomas J. Henry.
Yeah.
4444
Dude.
Davis. I mean, there's so many of them.
Who's the one that's like sexy, like the gray fox guy? Is that Thomas J. Henry?
Is it? Yeah, maybe.
He's like his whole commercial is like.
Apparently he had a show on YouTube or something.
Really?
Back in the day. I don't know if it's still.
There's one guy that's like, how much you want to be with him.
Oh, that guy. I don't know.
I remember talking to, I think it was like an ex's mom would like talk about him.
Huh.
Be like, well, all you need to do is get in a car accident with an 18-wheeler and you might have a one-on-one with them.
Oh man. No, yeah. I mean, that's cool that your buddy ended up sticking it out in Athens. So where did he go to school? And he ended up coming back. And
I think he was in Amarillo and UT. So UT and then Amarillo, got his law degree there. Passed the bar and then joined a firm in Austin and was just kind of hustling in Austin for a long time. Met his now wife there, and we would, every now and then, because we were as close as we both were living in different parts of the States, and then at one point parts of the world. But always, I would try to make time to get to Austin to spend time with him, because he's just one of those people that once you walk in the door and you say, hey, you're just right back where you were when you were with them last time. Right. And so he had been just, hustling like crazy in Austin. And honestly, I thought he was going to kind of live there forever. And then he met this great girl who she fell in love with our hometown because they would go and visit his parents, and his brother lives there, and she just kind of latched onto this idea of like, we just need to move back and like be closer to your family and your nephews. And so Steven and his wife Courtney picked up and moved, and they actually bought a house, hadn't told anybody. And then I was on the phone with him one day, and he was like, oh yeah, I've been going back and forth every weekend because we've been getting ready to move. So I'm so happy for him.
That's cool.
We always used to joke, my mom and I would say like, Steven is going to be the mayor of Athens. He is one of those guys that
You heard it here first.
Stephen Grant, mayor for Athens, Texas, Henderson County, in less than 10 years he'll be on the ticket.
Yeah. I was gonna say, whoever the mayor is, you got it coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for your ass. But he's just one of those guys that he walks around town and he is like, knows everybody, shaking hands.
Yeah, hometown hero.
Patting backs. Absolutely, hometown hero. and I think that Mom and I have like Oprah visioned him into this life. So I'm very pleased that everything's lining up for him. So
All right.
it's
Well, I'm sure when that time comes, you and your mom are going to have him on y'all's podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to rub it in his face. I'm going to be like, you couldn't have acted like you weren't going to become the mayor of Athens. And then at some point, potentially the governor of Texas.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what you're doing, Steven. So suck on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Your resume shows it no matter what you say.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So what took you to Chicago?
Well, for me, it was school. Yeah, I knew I wanted to try to get a degree as close to what I was passionate about as possible. And I just thought, well, I want to do comedy, and that just doesn't exist. There's no degree for that. So I was thinking about, maybe I'll get into like multimedia, like radio, television, film, or just go to acting school or something. But I discovered this private art school in Chicago called Columbia College Chicago. Not Columbia. Not Columbia. My GPA is dying and rolling over in its grave. No, so Columbia College Chicago. And I went and got a degree in comedy writing and performance, which I just didn't even know was a thing. It's like, oh, you're just telling me I get to go to clown school in this city where comedy legends were born. So that was my trajectory to Chicago, and really put me on the path to kind of learn as much as you can. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Second City. It's kind of like, if you've ever watched television in the last 40 years, and there was somebody that was on SNL, and then they went on to have some crazy career, they probably were a student at the Second City. Which is a comedy theater that specializes in improv, satire, sketch. So going there, it was like going to Mecca. It was pretty special. And Columbia College has this program called, I think it's just the Comedy Arts program, where you spend a semester at Second City, kind of like, like you would in France or something, but you're literally in town, and then you go to Second City and be trained by, the cream of the crop of like the educators in comedy that surround themselves with, and train and prepare, the future Chris Farleys and the future, Gilda Radners of the world. So was an awesome experience. It really was. Learned a lot, was really challenged. Spent about 4.5 years there. And I think I learned that the hard work that is required to explode or have a career or just make money doing comedy is so much greater than what I was willing to put into it. So at the time, I kind of gave it a fair shake and learned, like, this ain't working. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
And I was
You were young too, right?
Yeah. This was before I was 25, so straight out of college, living on your own with no real support system in the town. Like,
did you have family in?
No
Chicago?
family in Chicago, no family in Illinois. So you kind of have to build that system yourself,
right.
or build that access and those opportunities, because not everybody that I knew had all the access, but maybe they had wealthy parents, or they might have known a bunch of people in the city. And not to say that those people didn't work very hard. In fact, one thing I did learn was the people that I saw flying past me or getting these opportunities weren't even always the funniest people by a lot, but that they were the hardest workers. They had, like 40% talent and 60% work ethic and drive, and kind of almost this like sociopathic need to succeed.
Pure grit.
Yeah, pure grit. This just absolute unwavering grit. And so I think I learned that I don't think I stacked up with the same level of grit. I think it's something, comedy's something I'm passionate about, and I think it's something I'm pretty capable at, but it isn't just the fact that you believe in yourself and you are funny on stage. There's this like other kernel of reality, which is like, are you going to be consistent? Like we were talking about, like you doing this show, are you going to be consistent? Are you going to do it when no one's watching, when no one cares, when you're making no money? And that was, I think, very sobering for me when I was, in my early 20s. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think for you to have that sense of reflection now, it's a maturity, because it's easy, especially when you're younger, it's easy to, it's because they know somebody or they this, and everybody's situation is different. Yeah. When you were up there, did you meet any friendships or relationships that you still keep in touch with today?
Yeah, absolutely. I made some good friendships with classmates. I was, I will say one person that I did know from the past that could come up with me was this girl I was dating during my associate's degree. Her name is Sarah, and she and I were really tight. We were dating. I was moving up to Chicago. She finished her program and moved up with me to Chicago, and our relationship ended pretty soon after she moved up, but I got to see her move to Chicago, also not knowing anybody, and create a place for herself and a career for herself, and we're still good friends as well. Look at me, I'm such a nice guy. I'm friends with all my exes. Wow, what a sweetheart.
I was just hoping she didn't die yet. I was like,
oh no, she's dead. No,
it's dead to me.
No. She actually, it's funny, she took a sabbatical from social media and stuff, and I saw her. I did see her profile was dead, and I was like, oh no, not another ex who's a friend who, like, I am the bad omen. Don't be friends with me. If you dated me, we're not friends. So
you better marry you, because those are your options.
Yeah, my fiance was smart. She locked it down because she knew if this doesn't end well,
she saw the train coming, man.
Yeah,
the writing on the wall.
Yeah, there is a Final Destination Bloodlines ending for me somewhere in here. No, but and we remained pretty close friends after some time apart. But yeah, I made a lot of good friends. I've got some friends that have moved on and they're working in New York. I've got a friend who moved to California, or back to California with her husband, and I made some pretty lasting friendships. And then the industry that I was working in, you kind of will always have these people that you could maybe call on at some point if you ever had the opportunity. And I think in the future, I'm excited about the idea of working towards allowing opportunities for people and being able to call up friends and be like, hey, I've known you for this long. I think you're great. Want to come do this thing with me? I think that's a really exciting thing to me, because right now, while I'm here in San Antonio and while I've been working, that's how I've succeeded, is the people that I've met, that I've built connections with. Those are the people I want to work with. And the same thing would happen if I had those opportunities to give to people. I'd be like, hey, come with me. I think as much as I look like Adam Sandler, I would love to emulate him, as be like, just bring all the people you enjoyed working with that are your friends to do stuff with you. I think that's what makes
it special.
Makes it special and makes it, worth it. Yeah.
So when you left Chicago, where did you go after that?
I went straight into the Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was hemorrhaging money. I was help, dying in credit card debt. And my brother Michael, he was a pararescue jumper for the Air Force, so special forces guy. Definitely the most badass guy I know. He's one of those guys, he could kill you or bring you close to death and then bring you back to life, because he's a pararescue jumper. They're basically the EMTs of the battlefield. So somebody somebody needs close air support or an evac or something, and he's essentially going in with a team and shooting his way in, patching somebody up, shooting his way out, and taking them back to the fob. So
Nice.
Cool stuff. He's still my brother, so he's still like he's still a dork. I
Still
love
human.
him. He's still a nerd, and I'm always gonna let him remember that. But anyways, he had always told me, like, you could join, like, it's easy. And for the longest time, I was like, no way, man. I would never join the Air Force. I would never join the military. No way. And I've learned in my 32 short years, I cannot say the word never about anything. It's going to happen.
Right.
So I was Mr. Never about this. And I think, if I'm honest, it was more of a financial decision. I was like, this isn't working. I'm not, I don't have my life together. I'm not managing my money. I'm kind of being like, I'm losing my mind a little bit up here. As much as I love Chicago and would have never left if I could have afforded it. But yeah, joined the Air Force, stayed here for like a year, living in San Antonio with my brother, who just once again was like, I got you. He kind of, my family really like.
It's the same brother?
Yeah. My family really, like, I think, took me in. It's not like I was away from my family or anything, but I think that they saw the struggle I was having, and that I think especially my parents and my brother, I think they understood that I was looking for change. I needed an opportunity, and this was kind of one of those special opportunities to just take it. It's a completely different life. It's a completely different lifestyle, but joined in 2018, went in to be a linguist, a Spanish linguist. I'm not a Spanish linguist. So you can
I was like, we're gonna have to change this
guess how they
conversation.
went. Well, yeah, we might be able to.
Is that why all the tariffs are happening with Mexico? You translating that?
That's kind of what I wanted. I like, I didn't know what I wanted to do in the military, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna try to learn hard skills, like, maybe I should try to learn, like, get into intel and do something kind of like fun and secret squirrel. And the closest thing that fit what I thought I was kind of capable of was being a linguist. And so went in with a job guarantee and language guarantee to sign a 6-year contract, active duty, and went through all that good stuff, basic training. The tech school was like 2 years of just like arduous brain melting, trying to learn Spanish at the collegiate level when you like don't know Spanish at all. I spent 3 years.
How many Spanish speaking people are from Athens?
Dude. Well, I will say I'm from
Athens,
a small
East
town.
Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm from a small town, but it is surprisingly diverse.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be like a third split.
Really?
White, black, Hispanic. Yeah. Like and
you don't even get those numbers here on the south side. It's
No,
like
you don't.
99% Hispanic.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, it was a
Yeah.
little different, but
Yeah, and honestly, I think the numbers could have changed since I've lived
Sure.
there, but it used to feel like a pretty even scale of like of that. But yeah, you would think that I would have like picked it up, and I also did 3 years of school of like
Spanish in school.
High school. Middle school and
Did
high
you
school.
take AP or no?
Yeah, man, I took AP on my third time, or the third class I took, and I remember saying to myself, "Thank God I made it through this class. I'll never have to use Spanish again." What did I say? I said never.
Never. Don't say it. Don't
shit the
do
bed.
it.
So, I mean, it was an incredibly cool experience to get to be taught a language in the premier language school in the world, in Monterey, California. So beautiful setting. You're in the Air Force, so you're treated well. You're taken care of, and you have this very rigorous coursework. But yeah, it was another one of those things where I kind of like learned my limits. I learned what I kind of had as far as skills and what I was lacking. And so did that. That was pretty fun. But yeah, did that, and then when I got kind of kicked out of, not kicked out, but once you get recycled out of that program, they'll kind of replace you into a new job. And I'd already gotten all of the like secret scroll stuff cleared away. So they just wanted to give me a job in the intelligence field in the United States Air Force. And so I went on to become an all source analyst. So after those 2 years of like beating my head against the wall, trying to conjugate, I finally switched over to a job where it was a lot more like accessible and a little more broad. It was also in English. That kind of helped. But, you know, it was still, it had its own learning curve, but did that. I got to travel to live in Italy and deployed to Kenya and got to do some pretty cool stuff. And then before my 6-year contract was up, I was like, I don't think I want to do this forever. You know?
Yeah.
I was missing doing comedy. I was missing doing the artistic stuff. And so I kind of adjusted my plans to almost take the throttle off and not just become like a 20-year lifelong, you know, Air Force guy, but get a way to balance those two things, you know, the kind of hard skills on the military side and like just the passion stuff that keeps me from going crazy, you know.
You didn't do any comedy while you were active duty?
Well, two things. When I moved away to live in Italy for my contract, for my job, my mom started doing stand-up comedy, and she and I were always very close. I've always been a mama's boy. I've always been very close with her, and we could have a very easy time having conversations together. And so, yeah, we started doing a podcast together, and we would essentially Zoom call together. We would each have a Blue Yeti mic. We would record ourselves, do a, you know, hour and a half together. And then we would take that, put it together, make it sound like we're in the same room together, and put that out as a podcast. So that was one way to kind of do a little bit of that, get your brain moving without, you know, essentially doing stand up. But two other times I drove to Milan and did an English language mic at like a hostel. That was kind of fun. And then when I was deployed to Kenya, I decided, because there was like a morale thing that would go on once a month, and I decided to ask the base if I could put on a show where it was like essentially an open mic. So you'd let people come on and do like poetry and music and then stand up. So I would host it. I would do a set. I would, you know, introduce people and try to bring some levity to an interesting, austere place. It is one thing to bomb at a comedy club. It's another thing to bomb in front of a bunch of Marines while a capuchin monkey is right above your head cleaning its asshole. It's definitely a unique way to bomb. So definitely like an experience I don't think a lot of people can say they've had. So I did a little bit of it, but I did find that for me it's like life is balance. And there are parts of me that hunger for like pursuing what's passionate to me, and that like can keep me happier and more capable in the other parts of my life where I just have to like make money to support a life with somebody I love. And if you don't have balance, at least if I don't have balance, it all kind of goes out the door. It kind of all disappears for me, and I can really become almost like half of myself without it, you know? Yeah.
No, and I asked that question because it seems like most comedians, if they can find that medium of working daytime job and still grinding the hours, late night recycling, those make for effective effective years on both ends, right? But I also know too, you can't go to certain clubs with your certain type of jobs sometimes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's certain things, especially when you're out of the country.
Yeah. Oh man, it
So-
was. I mean, I don't even think there were any like English language like performance spaces where I was living. So it was literally just like a
Yeah, you make it
matter
where
of
you're at.
geography. Like, I bet if I was stationed here, I'd probably still be going. I'd still go out and I've actually done shows with some people some pilots and stuff, people in the military, and it's actually there are guys that do serve right now active duty, and they do also make money doing comedy. So it's possible,
Right.
It's doable, and and then everybody else has a day job and they do this by night. So I know people that I don't even know what their job is. I know they have a job. I don't, right? Like I know they have a family and a job, but like when you see them in the comedy world, you just see them as comedians. And I know a lot of guys that hustle their butts, and I do wonder, like, what does that guy do on the outside? It's like we're in jail, and we all get our like work day pass during the day, and we all go and work. I pick up trash, and some other guy does, taxes for the mafia, and then we all come back, and we're all in the pen together.
And you don't know what their real daytime job is.
Yeah, it does it feels a little bit like we're all Batman. Like we have these dual lives, and it's a cool thing. I also do improv comedy, which is very different. It's
what is improv comedy?
Yeah, so the way I like to describe it to people is the short form version of it is, if you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyways? It's exactly like
Those
that.
three guys.
Yeah, exactly.
guys, right?
3-4 guys, yeah.
3 guys, yeah.
Playing games, making up on the spot. And then other forms like long form look more like a play that there is no script and everyone is figuring it out
Free game.
as they go. Yeah. So
More like Saturday Night Live type of.
yeah. There's things like montage where you'll see like different scenes that are a
What's
little
montage?
longer. Montage would be like a collection of scenes.
Okay.
So you would see someone maybe get some inspiration. Somebody might like give a suggestion, like baseball game, and then you and one other person might go up and do something about baseball with a kid or something, you and your son trying to throw the baseball in the backyard, and you'd have a scene, and then somebody would edit that. They would like change the scene, and then they would do something completely different, inspired by the suggestion or the thing that the last person said. So what I do primarily, at least in here in Texas, in Austin, at Comedy Sports Austin, is we do short form, so that Whose Line Is It Anyways style game. But the way the Comedy Sports works is it's a improv game played like a sport. So there's 2 teams, there's a ref, there's like a tech guy that plays music, and sometimes we'll have a pianist to play musical games, and we have rounds, we have points, we have colors for our teams, and it's a family-friendly show, so everyone can come and watch. It's about an hour 15, hour 30 show, and I do that most weekends, and it's this really cool opportunity to work with really funny, really, really smart people, build a thing together, and get to perform for like, up to like 90 people, which is very cool. It's like, it's kind of what it's the thing that I wanted to be able to do regularly when I was living in Chicago that I couldn't find my way into. And I actually had experience at the Comedy Sports in Chicago, because Comedy Sports is everywhere. It's like a franchise. So there's some in I think there's a few outside of the country. There's tons all over the States. But so I do that, and I love it. I'm an ensemble member. I've been there for about 1.5 years now. And it's like the coolest. It's the coolest thing ever. And it's totally different than stand-up. With stand-up comedy, it's all on you, and you lose. You win or lose on your own merit and your own ability and your own personality. So if they don't like you, they don't like you at all. They want nothing to do with you. But with improv, it's a lot more
Team sport.
oh yeah, absolutely. You fail together, which is like the best way to fail, because at least you can go in the back and go, they fucking get it. They're idiots. They don't know how comedy works.
He said a monkey on his back.
Did you see that guy throwing his crap? You kidding me? Yeah. So it feels super. It does feel like the closest thing to, like you say, like a team sport, and it is like that. It's like we are a team. I depend on my other improvisers and the players, the director. You know, I rely on that, and that I think is a different kind of magic. Where I think with stand up, the magic is you being put to the edge of your seat with someone's story or them saying a joke that you're like, I didn't even expect that to come out of someone's mouth. I've never heard a joke like that. What an amazing writer. And then with improv, it's like, are you kidding me? They actually made that up? I don't know if they actually made that up. That seemed like they had a script. I can't believe it. That's amazing. They just did Shakespeare. They just sang Shakespeare and they fully improvised it. So it's a different kind of magic.
Yeah. It's almost too like some of the people who have the most boldest personalities tend to do well in stand up, and then if you think about improv, I mean the first thing for me that's probably most relatable to most is Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
And then you think of those era of groups that stick together, the Adam Sandler group that stuck together, the Will Ferrell with Chevy Chase. I mean, all those, and they ended up more so going into Hollywood than focusing on stand up, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's
what is stand up comedy?
Stand up comedy is usually one person, maybe more, but more often one person with a microphone on the stage just trying to make you laugh. You know, it's hard to just say it's telling jokes, because for some people it's telling true stories about their lives. For others, it's about being a character and convincing you they're someone they're not. But I think to some degree, stand-up is like being a singer. It's like, I just have this one tool and I'm going to use the hell out of it, and I'm going to do the thing that you're here to watch. I say that because by comparison, something like improv can be very, there can be a lot of feedback. There can be a lot of ways to change what you're watching if it's not working. But with stand up, it's the tool that you have, the thing you have, that's it. You do that. So yeah, you learn a set, you perform it, you could tour, you could do it at open mics, make no money. You could, open in Madison Square Garden and make millions of dollars. Yeah, it's one of the first things I fell in love with. I remember watching HBO specials with my parents, and them, like, I would like sleep on their floor between the bed and the TV because I was like a scaredy cat and I thought I was going to be murdered in my sleep. I don't know what that's about. But I used to sleep on a pallet in their room, and they'd be watching HBO's comedy specials, like,
Who do they watch?
Everybody. Chris Rock, George Carlin, Seinfeld, like the heavy hitters, Cedric, the Entertainer. I mean, honestly, it was kind of one of those things where as long as it was on, they were going to watch it. But I remember watching it and not understanding any of what I was hearing, and not laughing because I thought it was funny, or enjoying it because I thought it was funny. I was enjoying it because they were enjoying it. And I thought that was the coolest thing, is watching them be made to laugh and to be blown away by someone doing comedy. Because I grew up with like HBO comedy specials at 9, or like Comedy Central, like Premium Blend or whatever, 30-minute specials. I remember seeing Dane Cook's first special. I mean, that's one of the best specials on Comedy Central ever.
He moved our family quite a bit. Like we copied all his shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
They changed the roads.
Yeah.
It's like oh, you and your noodles.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. He's kind of gained this like stigma as of late, but
he was
people
hot when
don't
he was hot, man.
understand. In like the early aughts, he was the industry.
Yeah.
In fact, Dane Cook took the old system of like you do comedy at a club, somebody from Comedy Central or Just for Laughs sees you, they then offer you to go do a show that was either filmed or go do the Just for Laughs comedy festival in Montreal, and then you get an opportunity, you get an agent, you maybe do a show, you get your own comedy, you do your own HBO special. For Dane Cook, what he did was he was one of the first people to have fans online that he directly interacted with, put his comedy online, and then create this special magical stir of energy that came from the internet. So he kind of revolutionized in the early mid-aughts. For whatever people can say about him as a comic, like I think he had a big impact on how we see influencers as comics or comics as influencers. But yeah, man, I grew up loving that, and also SNL. SNL was huge. Like,
I remember saying Dane Cook was good, right? And everybody gave me so much shit.
Yeah,
I guess I don't really know a lot about comedy because I thought he was funny. And then I remember saying Carlos Mencia was funny, and then everybody, I'm like, man, I'm on the road. What the heck? Because I mean, it was all during that time.
Yeah.
And everybody's they're stealing jokes. Well, I'm like, man, the way I heard comedy for the first time, like that was on the radio and old cassette tapes, right? And then I didn't even know who their names were because I would just hear their jokes, like. And Austin had this old channel. I mean, I had already heard it on the radio many times before I moved to Austin.
Yeah,
but they had a comedy channel or a station, and man, I would just listen to that, and I'd try to find hope to catch the name at the beginning or you just heard da da da. And then I try to look them up online if it had a just playing now or whatever, right? And you could see the list of things, but I wasn't educated about the industry and the drama, and I wasn't following all that. All I knew was face value when I received it, where I was at. It was funny, man. Well, and it was relatable. Most of the comedy, if they can reach you where you're at, and you think that's funny through whatever medium, the internet, the radio, man, it leaves an impression, and that's one of the best tools to be memorable.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in comedy are a little deluded by it, and they think that they know how people want to receive comedy, and I think that you don't actually care about what an audience thinks. They have an idea about comedy. But as you're saying, like the comedians that succeeded or that we all know about are the ones that reached out to all of us and were relatable by all of us. So it's like they didn't subvert the genre necessarily. Very often they kind of were giving an audience what they would want. Right. Like, what do you want to watch at the end of a long weekday? You know, you want to watch Ray Romano. You want to watch Jerry Seinfeld or Jay Leno. I mean, people shit on Jay Leno, but that guy had a massive comedy career. And people sought these comics out and these shows out that I think a lot of comedy snobs, myself included, would have looked down upon. And that being said, we don't love comedy stealers. We don't love stealing jokes, but I think for all of the stuff people like even like blue collar comedy, right? Like you can say what you want about that, but those guys,
dude, those are fire, man.
Had a sweeping career.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people still go to their shows.
Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah, I give them all the credit in the world.
Sign.
Yeah, dude, I still give them all the credit in the world because those guys created like this super team of like the middle of America comedy. This is all the people in most of the United States. What do they actually want? They want comedy that relates to them, like you say. They don't want, East Coast, West Coast, alt comedy guys doing like political humor off a newspaper or some character you can't relate to because he, reads a book to you silently, which is I have to say one of my favorite comics is Andy Kaufman. He's an old guy from back in the day, back in the 80s. If you've ever seen Taxi, he was the foreign language man. He would talk like this. He talk, thank you very much. Thank you very much. He was this guy who was super subversive, did a lot of anti-comedy, like things you would think like, this isn't funny. Why am I watching this? This sucks. At one point, he would go on stage. He would bring a record player out. He would put the record for Mighty Mouse, the theme song for Mighty Mouse on, and he would just sing along to Mighty Mouse. That was the entire set. And then he would take out a book and he would read it. He would just keep reading it out loud till people started walking away. He'd say, shut up. He'd say, oh, okay, I'll stop reading. And he'd put it down. He'd turn on the record player. It'd be a recording of him reading the book.
Nice.
Super subversive.
Yes.
He's one of the first comics I ever heard about that had an alter ego who the two of them never met because it was him in this super, super like detailed like costume and facial like, prosthetic, and you couldn't even tell it was him. And he would go in, he would be on a TV shoot or a film shoot. He would go in as his own character, Tony Clifton. Andy would be out, Tony would come in, and Tony would destroy the place. He'd start cursing the men, hitting on the women, trying to break the set. Say, like essentially Tony Clifton was like his like brother or manager, and it was just this insane guy. Super subversive, very unrelatable, very unique. He has a special place in my heart. He's like one of the comics that I related to the most. But I would never have thought that Andy Kaufman would end up opening Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
He passed away of cancer early in his career, but I don't think it was like the fact that he had cancer that Andy Kaufman is not now a staple of he's a home name. Like, he's just a very unique, weird comic, and that's the stuff I really was drawn to,
Right.
as like how I want to be on stage. But you have to appreciate comics that could reach everybody. That's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I think of those times, the Larry the Cable Guy, Blue Collar. I mean, I think, and when I would hear them on those mediums, because you could see them on TV, I remember feeling like they were able to explain something I never could understand, but so simply, right, through a joke, through a couple words, and it was it's just a different time, I guess. I mean, it seems like there wasn't as many comics back then, and what they inspired in the next generation through the mediums because I would still consider that like the TV, right? They would come out TV, radio, I'd say radio before, then TV started coming out. But man, the wave that they inspired in the next generation to come up through internet, TikTok, all of that stuff really was massive. And now it's crazy because it used to be really controlled by the people watching TVs, right? The listeners, and now it seems to be controlled by the algorithm, you know?
Yeah.
And algorithm to some sense is still the viewers and stuff, but
it is. It's like the chicken or the egg. Do the people steer the algorithm, or is the algorithm steering the people?
Right.
And I think there was a point where it was the former, not the latter, and now it's like how AI is exploding. Well, it's exploding on everyone's original ideas. So there were all these artists that AI has scooped that information up and is now creating new content, but it is all the old, it's all the stuff that we ever made. It's recycling it. So I do sometimes wonder if this whole algorithm thing is like a bubble that's going to pop because it is based on it as a program now steering people towards certain information, content, people, voices in whatever scene, be it politics or comedy. It's a weird time. I think you're we were just talking about this before we started recording, but it's like knowing how to play that game is one of those secret skills or it's one of those skills no one thought they were going to have 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we all have to know how to like write a title of a video that will appeal to someone's like monkey brain.
Right.
It's like, or also that will like turn the algorithm towards you. You know, it's this like searchlight, and you have to like say the thing or do the arm flag movement that has the algorithm go you and lifts you up,
Rise,
brings you to heaven, and so it's like it's a new world.
It is. And you know, when Facebook first, MySpace even started, I felt like I would comment or post things that you could probably say like, oh, that was Jesus. The first video I ever posted on this podcast was me welcoming people to, hey, come check out the podcast. And there's a tool that I used, and the suggested titles was Jesus Rendon, the rise and fall of Jesus Rendon. And it's like, man, all that out of that little video, and then it's like Jesus Rendon, how a criminal changed the world. And it's like,
you telling me this algorithm is profiling me?
I know. It's like, man, that's a 99%. That one's gonna be trending for sure.
Just because there's an accento over the E, man, you got to be coming after me, bro. Yeah. I know it's so extreme. I've slowly started to realize, oh my God, this stupid video tricked me into thinking it was going to be something more interesting than it was.
Yeah.
You know, that
how many times have you thought that? I
mean, just like thinking like, oh, I'm going to learn about, like you said, the rise and fall. And then it's just a video telling you their biography. And you're like, this is such like, man, I'm just like I'm played for a fool.
Yeah.
But honestly, like to the point of you wanting to get viewers and listeners, maybe you should be like,
maybe I should have leaned into it.
Escapes prison, starts show, like lean into the insanity, and just don't even acknowledge the title, just pretend that doesn't exist just because,
or even add a little bit of, I don't know, like a green screen and you're in a prison thing.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha. Now that you're here,
and you have to have the like face that is.
Right.
And it has to put bars in front of you like you're Mr. Beast or something. And it's a weird time. It's like I didn't think I was going to have to think about how me as a package would make someone click on me. It used to be like, can you write good material? Are you funny? Do you have good stage presence? It's like, yes, you have to have all those things, but also there's this extra layer of like metagaming your life in the social media environment. We're in kind of two levels of access. People can come see you do a show live, and people can also just sit and scroll and watch clips of you for hours.
Yeah.
So do you have hours of clips?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
It's wild, man.
Maybe
it's the Wild West now.
It really is, man. It's the Wild West.
Figuring it out. Yeah. Did you have a mentor growing up?
I think my brother Adam was a good guide, a good mentor. He whether or not he realized he was helping your mentor, me, or whether or not I was receiving it that way. He right now he's been a professional actor his whole life. He does English dubs for anime. He makes a lot of money doing that, but he also goes to these cons and he's a name. He's a known name, and he's been doing musical theater in Houston, regional theater companies and things for years and years and years. And he was the guy that one of the many siblings that we all got on stage. We all had to get on stage because we like grew up in a theater more or less. But Adam was one of the ones that like this is what he wanted to do for a living, and I think that I really looked up to him and tried to pattern some of my decisions based on what I saw him doing, because he went to school for the thing that he now does, and I thought, well, okay, well that seems like kind of an obvious thing, but yeah, maybe you should get an education in the thing you want to do, so you can meet the right people and work with the right team of people you build, the associates you build over a span of years. And he's made a lot of really smart choices in his career to kind of diversify himself as a performer. I always looked up to my mom. Like I said, I'm very close to my mom and very impressed by her as a person. She's lived through a lot of really difficult hardships, and she's had loss in her life and dealt with being older and deciding to get into like education or get into comedy or get into a new career field as she got older and older. And it's like she's proof that you're never going to be a certain age where you can no longer do something other than, walk on with the, Dallas Cowboys or whatever. But we, everybody wants to be Vince Papale, but not everybody can do it. But yeah, I definitely grew up with my mom as a strong mentor. Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump into. I know you briefly hit off of a couple years, your early years, but let's jump into the timeline workshop where you share an impactful event that happened each year of your life. Feel free to group them up. This a lot of these clips we're going to recycle and put into the page for building a purpose. So, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing, impactful positive, impactful negative, and keep it at your pace, whatever you think.
Yeah, I'll try to kind of segment it. Yeah, I'll do like little windows of segments of my life. I'd say from being really young, like from being born to like probably when I was 5. Like I would say that a specific experience that affected my life would be when I was really young, I would sleepwalk. And I sleptwalked one time, and I would do like really intense sleepwalking. And one time I woke up and sleptwalked through a pane glass sliding door out into our back patio. And my parents woke up, thought somebody had broken in. They realized the glass was broken into the outside. And I wasn't conscious for this, right? But it really impacted me because it kind of made me realize like you're not always in control. And it's a very obvious example, but it is one of those moments where you like understand a little better about like mortality and the like delicate nature of life in a weird way. It's like my brother, when he was my age, he also sleptwalked out of the front door of their home and into the street. It's just the craziest thing.
Jeez,
yeah.
Man. Are your parents sleepwalkers?
No, and I don't sleepwalk anymore. I probably stopped sleepwalking when I was like 10 or 11. But it was just one of those like things where, obviously, looking back, I think of it as this wild story, but also it reminds me, the how fragile life is.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I think it was
out of your control.
Yeah, super out of your control. I would say, kind of like my mid-youth, for me getting to be on a stage the like first or second time, I think I got to be in Annie, and I was like 3 feet tall, and I was cute, and so I was cast as one of the poor kids in Hooverville, and then I was also cast as the little guy that carried the suitcases in for Annie, and I was like, the same size as the suitcase. And I remember being like getting all this attention from these like kids that I was in the show with, and these cute girls and people, and then at the show you do the show, and then after people would shake your hand or say, "Oh my God, you were so good." And as a young kid who was very in need of attention, like being like 6 or 7 and getting this level of like attention, and it was kind of, it was like, it was exciting. And it was, you know, for a little kid, it was like, oh, I could keep doing this. And, you know, I could keep like having people like quietly sit and watch me. That was like very cool.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting and nerve wracking. And I remember the first show I ever did, just like having a flop sweat and just being afraid I would vomit on stage. And
Like the show of stand up or show of in theater?
no, just theater. I know I had to do stand up for a long time, but just putting on a costume and having like a line or two and being like, oh, I hope I don't mess it up. You know?
Yeah.
And you learn how to do this thing with all these people and listen for your line and walk out and perform. So that was super impactful. I mean, that's probably why I'm still so passionate about being on stage. It was like baked into me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a big one. Getting older, I think a couple of things that I can think of. I had this one experience. I think this would probably be when I was like maybe 11 or 12. When I learned a little more about my family, I knew that I was in a blended family. I knew that my dad had been married and had 2 kids. My mom had been married and had 3 kids, and my dad's first wife and him had a divorce, and my mom's first husband was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. And I remember learning really young that the third kid on my mom's side, my sister, my closest sibling in age, was actually she wasn't actually my mom's first husband's kid. That my mom met this guy and they hit it off and they were dating, and she got pregnant and he disappeared, left her in the dust, and she had my sister, and life went on, and my mom had already been through a lot. And you know, I hadn't been born at this point, but obviously that part of the life, the family connected, the family dynamic hadn't really been explained to me. And I might have been older, but I think I was closer to like 12 or 13. But I remember being like shocked, but also it was fascinating to learn another challenge about my mom's life and how easy it is to be doing nothing wrong and then just your life changes instantly. So I always looked up to people that didn't choose what's going on, but they like embrace it, and they're like, well, this is my daughter. There's no question.
Yeah.
You know, and she's gonna be as equal a part of this family as everyone. And we were all a blended family, so we were all brother and sister. I never called them my half siblings, you know. So that was important. Yeah, that was fun. And
this was before she met your dad.
Yeah. This was before she met my dad, probably like 2.5 years before. I'm a product of the city of New Orleans and the multi-level marketing company no, not Arbonne. There's an OG like pyramid scheme company from back in the 80s and 90s that my parents were both part of. Love them, but I mean, come on, who does that?
Vector marketing,
something,
Fortune High Tech marketing,
something like. It was the famous one. I can't remember what it is right now, but they met in New Orleans. So I owe it to New Orleans and that company. But let's see, some other big moments. I remember when I was like in 6th grade. So at this point, I'm like maybe 13. I had to, for whatever reason, we were having some big event in the auditorium, and I was going to present something. And I remember it was the first time I was going to do something where I wasn't like in a costume. It was just me standing there. And so I literally had to hold a mic, look at all of my classmates, everybody in the school, talking to this amplifying device, and say like 2 words that were probably read off of a card. And I remember that like at some point I was like so nervous. I was like, God, I'm shaking like a freaking leaf. And that like everyone went nuts. All the kids laughed like crazy. And I was like, oh my God. I think I just saved myself from blacking out. Like I think it was this.
You said that into the mic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like my instinct was just to say like the most embarrassing thing that was like
embrace it.
Yeah. Like own it. Because I was shaking like a leaf. And I tried to own it. It didn't make me any less nervous as I got older and performed, but it's like definitely an indicator of what's to come. Like, okay, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to be comfortable because this is clearly something you're capable of. You're able to interact with people on a public level. That was a very significant event. I remember when I was really young, I don't remember this, but my mom told me that when George W. Bush Jr. was campaigning to be governor of Texas, so I was like probably 4, he was in Athens where he has a house out there, and he came in to meet everybody in our local Mexican restaurant, and he walked up and was telling, hey, everybody, shaking hands and introducing himself as the future governor, hopefully. And then at some point, I think I went up to him, shook his hand, and said, well, my name's Sam, and I'm the mayor of Toys. So I was always meant to,
be in the light.
Impress and make people laugh and just be the most charming, cute little kid. So yeah, like 13.
He was a funny guy too.
He was. Isn't it funny that nowadays he's so quaint?
Yeah.
I miss him. I never thought I'd say that. I miss him. Do more paintings, George Bush Jr. Getting older, I think. God, there's so many life events.
Hey.
I think getting older when I was it's probably like 15 at this point. So I was in high school. I think I had a lot of anxiety about school. And I remember we had a summer reading project, and I just didn't do it. And I just like put it off. And then
Does anybody do them?
I think no. I think this isn't a unique story, but
Yeah.
But I think it is also like very representative of how I saw myself as a person. And I remember not doing it and just reading like a quarter of it, and then going online and finding Spark Notes because that was like the place everyone would go, and
Before AI.
phoning it in at 4 a.m. Yeah, and just having to like face the music when you get there for that first month where you're reviewing the book, and kind of looking around and seeing that everyone else was either they had done it and I was in this AP class, or everyone else was better at phoning it in. And I don't think I was conscious of that, but I was just so filled with things like anxiety and fear and like self kind of like criticism, because I was like, well, I'm not very smart, and I don't like reading, and I'm kind of a slow reader, and I don't really feel comfortable here in my skin in this way. And I definitely found myself like disconnecting as a student a lot, and being challenged with like trying to do the best I could under pressure after not really applying myself. So I think like I definitely learned a lesson about well, you could make your life easy, but you inherently will not do this. So you're going to learn how to do stuff under pressure, and you're going to do the best you can. And that's all you can do. Because, the best case scenario of you, Sam, is that you do it the day it's assigned. And the worst case scenario is that you scratch something out 20 minutes before it's due.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely learned that there is there are choices we can make.
Mm-hmm.
And I would often choose the harder pathway to success. And I think I've gotten older and I've had to try to acknowledge there's an easier path.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was growing up, it was no, I just always thought you're going to have to take the long path of just being frustrated by life.
It takes a lot of maturity to be able to reflect on yourself that way and see it as you saw it then, right? And know the tools that makes you effective. And then, man, that's awesome that you were able to. You're like, hey, maybe a lot of people didn't read it, but they could fake it a lot better than I could at that time. And learning that tool for. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a highlight of our generation. Because I remember back in the day, people respected somebody who could do something good and that one thing good.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we were growing up in you got to do everything pseudo good.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. It does feel like we grew up in an age of everything all the time. And and your value was if you had a misstep. At least that's the way it felt. If you had a misstep in one part of your life, then people could place judgment over you for everything. And I think we've seen the result of that with cancel culture, blah, whatever, where it seems like people can now write can write you off for one mistake.
Right.
Or write you off for a character flaw. And it's you might be working on it. You might be going to therapy. You might be going to group. You might be going to a church and trying to talk with somebody who can help you.
We're all just practicing to be ourselves.
You're so right. And I don't think we should let that get lost on us, because I think you're right. It does kind of feel like we had a lot of pressure on us. We were also those post 9/11 kids when it was America was exceptional. We had to be, because we couldn't be anything like an innocent victim who didn't prepare for the worst and have something horrible happen to it. We had to be the best, perfect. Yeah, America's coming back and we're fighting and we're kicking ass. And it's and it was, as much as it was necessary for us growing up, I'm sure you remember 9/11. I remember 9/11. That's actually a very significant one in my life. But it was we all had to be just exceptional. And it's we're not all exceptional,
right?
But also we're all working on it. We'll get there, and we'll get to what our version of exceptional being exceptional is. So, yeah. How did I bring it to 9/11? God, what is... Wow, man.
And then I thought you were going to jump into Saturday Night Live with Pete Davidson's dad and then go into a bit.
Nah, man, I'm not that funny. I'm not that. Getting through high school was great, and I remember deciding I was gonna go to community college, and that was tough but relieving, because it was oh yeah, this feels attainable, because I had thought of myself at this certain level of you can only do this much. So going through that program in college was super great. And I was able to have an opportunity to, so I was probably 19 at this point, 20, to become the student shop foreman at our theater wood shop in college. And that came with,
cool.
I know, it was super cool. And it came with a lot of responsibility. And a teacher would look to me as an equal and expect things from me and expect me to not screw it up. It was something I loved doing. I felt very passionate about it. It was easy to do for me, but also it felt the closest to not just like having a college job or a school job, or I didn't get paid to do it. I just did it for fun after class while we were making shows. But it felt the closest to like I'm collaborating with adults to make something. Like they want to hear my input. That was very important. I also worked as a designer on shows where I wasn't even in the show, but I was like designing the set with the director and with the technical director, and that was like
Made you feel part.
yeah, it was like wow, I'm being not just collaborative because I'm learning my lines and we're all showing up and doing our lines at the right time. Is like, oh man, we're making a thing. That's really special. So having that responsibility put onto me was a super important thing. Taught me I was in some ways capable of more than what I thought I was. It's like something I didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
But I learned it fast and I was like, okay, I know how to do this, and like I feel good about my ability at this age and stuff. So going into my bachelor's degree and moving to Chicago, I think one of the biggest challenges of that period of time was just showing up. Driving there with all my stuff, being dropped off. It was like the first day of summer.
Who dropped you off?
Mom and dad.
Mom and Dad.
And I think my girlfriend at the time. And that felt like getting dropped off at summer school on like methamphetamine, because it's like there's nowhere you can go. This is where you're going. You're going here.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a big boy. You're gonna put on your big boy pants. You're not staying at home, going to college. You're out in the big world. And I had to decide who I was. I had to decide how I was going to interact with people that didn't know me. I was going to have to decide how I was going to take my school life and my work life seriously, which is a big challenge when you're like 21. So coming through that anxious, tight feeling of like, okay, it's on me now. Like you have to you have to figure it all out. No one is going to figure it out for you. No one's going to tell you which train to get on to make it to the next class. No one's going to tell you, oh, you can just move all your stuff for the summer into my house.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got to figure it all out. So moving to Chicago, I think it was such a turning point of growth and development. I think I could have stayed in Athens forever and I would have just been the guy that stayed in Athens forever, but I didn't. I got out and challenged myself, and it was a big challenge, big challenge.
There's so much deep stuff in all your examples, man. It's good. I want to peel them apart, but I want you to keep going.
I know. We'll be here for 7 hours. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do that to either of us. But it's like it's good to reflect. That's what I love about this.
Yeah,
is you put that person in a place where it's like, no, I want to listen. I want to hear you. Like that's the best thing about this is like most people don't get to genuinely dive into their lives and talk about it, unless they have multiple personalities and then they could just talk to them,
talk to each other,
to Mary in the left back corner of the bedroom. Yeah, I'd say then from college. A big event that was very challenging was my girlfriend had moved up with me to Chicago, and she had finished school early, so she was able to move in a semester early and be with me. And then we moved out of the apartment I was sharing with a bunch of guys, and we moved into a place together alone. And within 3 months, it had like collapsed. The whole relationship did, and a lot of it had to do with me and where I was at, and kind of how unseriously I was taking the relationship. And it definitely felt like a big adult failure. It didn't feel like, oh well, you didn't bring in your school book assignment, or you didn't show up to class and you like pretended you were sick. It was like, oh man, like, oh, I have these like direct consequences, like where I have to like keep paying my rent, and this person like wants all their shit back, and and like I have to like kind of talk to my family and some friends in like a very adult way about the things I'm struggling with and how I ended up here, and try to figure out how to interact with your ex without interacting with your ex, without like showing up at their apartment. I just want you back. I had those moments. I had one of those nights where I walked by and called and said like, can we just talk? And like she like pitied me that night, and just like it once again, that kind of development, it felt like, oh man, now I'm really in it. I have things I need to work on that I haven't worked on. So at that time I went to therapy, and so my therapist recommended that I go to a 12-step program for sex and love addicts. And I think it was something I was really young to be accepting I had a problem with, and really young to be going and seeking help for it. So I joined that program, and that challenge turned into a really amazing thing where I was with this group of men anonymously, where we only understood each other as men openly, honestly expressing who we were and what we were dealing with and the struggles we had every day, and what steps will we take to try to make our lives better, to undo the wrongs that we did, to make right those things. And it was probably one of the most spiritual, like close to something experiences I've had. I grew up Catholic, never felt anything at church. Honestly, if I had a watch on my hand as a kid, I'd be staring at it.
Yeah.
Never felt connected to it. But there was something truly spiritual and like transcendental about taking these deliberate steps to try to better my life and work through this kind of addictive behavior and these patterns that I had, and how I would like act out on my feelings and stuff. So that was really, really an interesting time in my life after college, of like hitting a wall and being like, oh shit, there's something wrong with me. But I don't see it that way anymore, but thinking that there's something really wrong with me, I needed to get help. So after that, definitely encountered a lot of opportunities to do art and be funny and perform, and super significant event was going to Comedy Sports for the first time and watching all those people do like impressive stand-up or impressive improv at like a exceptional level, and being like, ooh,
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that gets some fool on stage, is being like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And like taking their classes. So for me, it was like going in for the first time, hearing about this thing, watching it and being like, oh my God, these guys are pros. And thinking, I can do it. I should try. How do I get in this door? Who should I start shaking hands with? And that was like pretty special, because it felt like a little more accessible, and it felt like outside of school, like no one was going to tell me to go sign up for this thing. I was like, I'm just going to do it because I think I can. It was really, really important. From there, I think I mentioned it, but, realizing I'm going to have to change my life, 2017, 24, realizing like, oh man, I got to make a big change. There's a lot of hard skills I didn't have, didn't have structure. Like I said, I had to literally go to like a group to be like, just take a shower in the morning, make your bed, like the little things. So I wanted to put myself into a position where I could have responsibility and a framework for life like thrust upon me. The military was that for me. So deciding one day to be like, okay, I'm going to do it,
Doing it.
and not look back, and be like, I'm literally going to abandon all this comedy stuff and just say bye and go.
Right.
that was a big decision. So joining, making
Especially
that.
because you went to school for that too, right?
Yeah. And it's like a complete 180.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in comedy want nothing to do with that kind of
Right.
system.
Structures.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? Like you're an artist. Why would you sell out to the man?
Why'd you box yourself like that?
Yeah, and even I felt that way. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I selling? Why am I selling my soul? And it's like, I didn't understand what was on the way for me. I just believed that it could work because it worked for my brother. My brother was on his way to being a burnout, and he became this like incredibly responsible, kick-ass, smart dude. So that was big. Yeah, joining was big. I think, went over it, but I think, going through the program and facing down the gauntlet of the language school, and that to that point, it was like I had these moments where I finally found the ceiling of what I was capable of with like learning a language. Moments like that where I had to face like a proficiency test. And this is the final test that essentially tells the government you can do this job, so you can move on and get the rest of your training and become this have this career field. And then I just took the test and didn't make the cut. I took it again, didn't make the cut again. Got my scores and had to just face that for whatever reason, either didn't work as hard or worked hard but met my ceiling. It's like I had reached the ceiling, and that was like, okay, well, at this point I can't decide what's next. It's going to be decided for me. So I'm just going to go for it and just like try to do 110% in this new thing. And so that was really helpful to see, like, you don't know everything, you don't have all the skills, but the skills you do have, like, maybe they'll serve you in this.
That's when you went to Intel?
Yeah. So 110% into Intel coursework, did really, really well, enjoyed it. And it felt kind of like, oh God, thank God I can lift this like yoke of a skill that's really hard for me off my back. That was a big one. Then moving into kind of doing the job, making some friends, my first friend that I made in the military outside of training was my friend Rachel. She's been my friend since we joined. Our career was following the exact same trajectory for 4 years. It was kind of crazy. So we knew each other forever. But I remember going out on the town with her, and we went to the beach, and I thought she was really cool. And we were just sitting on the beach, and we just had this very open, respectful, honest conversation about, like, I think you're really awesome. I think I just want to be your friend forever. like there's this thing where when young people get together, there's usually something in the back of everyone's mind that's like, well, like, what are we? Are we going to like start dating? Like, what is this? And this was one of those first times where I like had an honest conversation with someone where we had just met and we agreed, like, let's just be friends. And that is like one of the best things that ever happened to my relationship to that person was, and it wasn't like either of us had like extreme feelings for each other or anything, but just agreeing to be like, let's just be friends. We're like,
good friends. Yeah,
like, I like you a lot. I think you're a cool person. Let's not ruin it. I always say, like, don't ruin a wonderful friendship with 6 weeks of a failed relationship trying to make it work. I had that realization with that person, and it's been one of the like most lasting relationships with somebody I consider my sister. Like, it's just like, it was an important time, and especially when I had been coming off of this experience where I was like a serial monogamous. It's like constantly every woman that I interacted with was like, well, they're potentially my wife, or, you know, I can't be their friend. It's
I
like,
see.
that was it. You know,
Yeah.
I was very like black and white about all that. So that was like, okay, be an adult. Like you can be friends with people and not just try to gain something from them in the way of a relationship. So that was super important. And then I think maybe the next big thing would be like deciding to go back into this comedy world that's inconsistent and uncertain and artistic and dirty, and adjusting my trajectory out of the like active duty Air Force into the reserves to give myself back time to focus on those passions. That was another big decision point. And I had to, like I did with jumping into the military, be like, I don't know what this is going to be like, and it may not go well.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing jumping out. Like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I then went on to take a year-long active duty thing. That's where we met, so it worked out. Because it's nice to make money, but but it was important to be like to stand by my laurels and be like, yeah, I'm not just put on this earth to just do 30 years for the Air Force and then retire and have a fishing boat and an Air Force tattoo. That's for some people. No judgment. I work out with a lady that's got an eagle shooting out of a American flag, and underneath it is the Air Force symbol. I cringed only ever so slightly. But
and her call sign is the claw.
I should ask her call sign next time I see her.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that I think was like another big moment. And I think as of late in my like after active life, I think I decided to go back to therapy and work with somebody and try to target just the stuff in life that is not easy to get after, and really had a wonderful time in doing that discovery. And then at one point I just had this realization, like, you know what, I think I could be okay for right now, for a year, for 5 years, just being alone and focusing on myself and not being this like person that needed to be in relationships all the time. And that was a really important thing to be able to say and express and feel truly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met my fiance.
Yeah, that was a Thursday when I was thinking that Friday.
It was kind of crazy. It's that, once you stop looking, you find that thing.
Right.
It's like once I stopped needing that validation or needing that person, the person showed up and it was organic, and it wasn't because of Tinder or me going to a bar and sliding up next to a woman or doing a. That being said, she did see me do comedy before we ever met. She got my Instagram and started chatting me up. And I was like, sick. Cool. This cute girl wants to talk to me because I'm funny.
Or did you bomb that show, or you
I
out of the
killed,
park?
and that helped.
All right.
That's what locked it in for me.
Yeah,
Was
you
if I
killed.
had bombed, I don't think I'd ever hear from her. I think she would have never.
Damn,
No,
it's a
it
bad
worked.
night. Bad night. Come on, we all have them.
But I didn't even know. Like I
Yeah,
literally,
so after
we were talking, and for like a week we were just chatting, and then at some point, I hate to say it, I just said to him like, "So, I'm having a really nice time talking to you, but how do I know you?" She was like, "How could you? What do you mean? You don't remember?" I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I don't know. And she's like, I'm just kidding. I just saw you do comedy. I got your Instagram. We've actually never met. I was like, oh, okay, whew. I was like, shit, is this
My
some girl?
sleepwalking again.
Like, is this some girl I went to like middle school with, and like she was my first girlfriend, and like I dumped her and I didn't even realize it. But it was like it felt like this cool inflection point where I had accepted that I am okay on my own, and then because of that, it's like oh, this person that will allow me to be myself, that wants to be themselves too, has also done a lot of work on themselves and went through their own struggles with life. Like we met at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
and we met as like the perfect fit for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was total kismet. I don't say like the one because of my mom, I know there's no such thing, and my dad, I know there's no such thing. Like
What's kismet? Same thing as,
kismet is like the perfect, like coincidental, perfect moment. Like
okay.
you needed the thing, and the thing was there.
I thought something along cashmere.
It's cashmere kismet. Yeah, we were both draped in cashmere. No, but it was like this perfect time when it needed to happen to meet this person, and you're both as mature as you need to be in that moment for each other. It was like super crazy. Like within, I don't know, this sounds crazy, viewers, but within the week we were like, we're gonna get married.
Wow.
It was like
That
it was very
fast?
crazy. Yeah. So so I'll jump backwards, but one last thing, I would say a big point in my life that was a challenge before I met Christina was in 2023 in July. I got the call from my mom that my dad had passed away. He had taken his life. My dad had been struggling with his mental health for 7 years. He had an emotional break after some financial issues in his life, and he just had this long, tough, like uphill kind of fight and like argument with himself to like live and keep going. And it was a lot of work. My mom and my dad worked like a team for his health. It was very interesting to watch over that period of time, the 7 years or so. And when he passed away, it was really horrible. It was shocking, but it was also predictable. He had been suffering, and it's true when someone has made that decision and then they don't. Every day they're alive is just one day that they didn't decide to do it. And it's definitely changed my relationship to my mental health. It's changed my relationship to my family, to my father. I mean, I now have like weirdly a very strong relationship with my father. It's unfortunate that he's not here for it, but I've built a foundation of remembering him and keeping him as he's my father, and he made me, and he's like injected who he is into me in some way. I try to live that as well and remember that like I am who I am because of my dad and my mom, and I am a part of him as much as, he's a part of me. So that's that was a huge period in my life and my family's life, and definitely not the way, it's one of those, not the way you think life is going to go, but it's just the way it had to be. I had to live through that. My mom had to live through that. My family had to live through that, for us to like grow in the way we have. So yeah, I think that was kind of that one's been pretty recent.
Yeah, that was very recent.
Yeah. And it's been really important to keep who my dad is alive, just as a person. He's not there, and that's okay. But because my fiance had never met him, and
Future kids.
yeah, and the future nieces and nephews, and those people aren't gonna know him. They're gonna just know him through us. And they say you die twice: when your heart stops, and when the last person says your name. or remembers you. It's the second time you die. And so in a way, I don't want to, while I'm around, I don't want that. I don't want him to go anywhere. And I would do I'll do the same for all the people that are important in my life. I don't want any more people to go anywhere, but that's also the big thing. That's the other thing is we always will be guaranteed that.
Right.
As sobering as it is.
Yeah, man, I couldn't imagine where I'd be if I lost my dad. So young too.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't lie when I say this. He was a young 65. like yeah, 65. I don't think most.
Well, you were so young too.
Yeah, I was young.
To lose
but
your dad.
I don't think anyone
was ever ready.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. I don't want anyone else to have to feel so much in pain that that's their solution. But I also understand it. I can't relate, but I understand it.
Yeah,
I understand how much that pain can be for someone. So, so it's a horrible disease. It's a horrible struggle that so many people have, and like my family's story is just one of so many. So, I definitely feel a stronger connection to those kind of stories too. Yeah.
And your mom, man, she's strong.
Dude,
woman.
what a trooper! Seriously, that's
two husbands.
Two husbands suddenly, and yeah, man, she is like living proof that women have more cojones than men. Like she has been through so much stuff, and she's just prevailed, and not like because of it. Like she has because of those things. Those things have made her stronger because she's like soldiered through, and she's like fought through what could like take people out. I like I said, I won't tell their story, but I just say I've had people in my life who they've lost someone and then they took themselves out as well.
Right.
And it's like insane. I wouldn't know any feeling I would have if that was my person and I lost them and then I decided I needed to go too. But it's just amazing that like my mom has worked through as much as she has and been such a strong person. So yeah, I think she's still my mentor in that way. I think she still gets to qualify.
She's a superhero, man.
Yeah.
To endure something, tragedy so great. Not just once, twice, but to still be around enough to hold you guys together.
Yeah. Definitely. 3 tragedies. She has to watch me bomb a lot. So
that's why she's there with you. She's like, hey, even though you're stand up, you're supposed to lose by yourself. I'm here with you, so we both lost together tonight.
Dude, it is actually hilarious and so fun to do.
I've seen her on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've when you shared her name and I went through all her stuff and I was like, man,
good.
She is good, and
she's good, and
she's confident and knows her story, and I think when you know those two, when you're confident and you know your story, there's nobody that could tell you what you're doing up there is wrong or otherwise. And it's almost like there's no bombing because it is what it is.
Yeah. She can struggle with it a lot because she worries that she's like, I won't speak for her, but she has told me like it's been hard being a woman and being my age trying to do comedy because the scene is so young and so dominated by men and she's a white lady. Yuck. So
hey, she works at the Alamo though.
She does. She does. You don't want to know for which side though. No, like she's told me the struggle she's had, and it's like they're not the same struggles I've had with comedy, and like, and I'm always like trying to tell her that for one, she should be more willing to just be who she is, like we're saying, like just be yourself. She doesn't always feel that way, but then I also listen to her comedy, and I'm like, all your jokes are straight from the heart, and they're what you're just actually dealing with.
I've never spoken a word to her, and that's what I got out of her comedy.
Good. See, there you go. That's what I want her to hear is like, yeah, you probably shouldn't stop doing it because like people enjoy and relate and want to hear what's going on in your life. And we're kind of both on a little bit of a weird like slight hiatus from stand up. We're both I'm ready to get back into it. I've been doing a lot of improv, but yeah, I don't know. You kind of get into a funk. Comics get into a little bit of a funk. Sometimes I've worked with a couple of guys that were like, "Oh yeah, I didn't do stand up for like a year, and then I came back, and now I'm like
recharged."
Yeah, with a vengeance, and it's like
sometimes you need some time to just like detox, clean your palate, get some experience.
Yeah,
not experiencing comedy,
life
to throw into comedy.
So much. I totally agree with you.
It's like going shopping for inventory, you know?
Yeah. You gotta like sit and just be a vacuum for a little bit too. You just gotta soak it up. Because if you were just a touring comic, you would just make jokes about how crappy, Motel 6 is and how girls don't want to date you. And it's like, well, is that all you want your life to be? And for me, a lot of my comedy is very like esoteric and weird, like Andy Kaufman. But the more I live, the more there's like things I want to talk about, like my dad. Like I do jokes about my dad, and they're crazy jokes. They're like I can't say them here to your audience. They'd have to pay money and not bring their children. But like it's still very like comics don't want you to know that if they're doing really personal stuff, they're doing it because it's cathartic and it's helping them. And it's like a little bit of therapy,
healing, closure,
art therapy, healing, closure. Yeah. I mean, people would ask me like, so do you think you'll ever talk about your dad? I'm like, oh yeah. I think I need to. And it's not just because I want to like use this or use his death. It's just because it'll kind of help me think a little more about it and reflect and sit with him. And it does that. And
he'll live on. I mean, like
said,
like exactly how you said, when the last word, he dies twice, right?
Yeah.
And when we first met, I remember you had said your dad had just passed.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of the details. This is the first time hearing this deep, but
yeah.
And I could tell you were troubled. I mean, anybody who would go through something like that, and you've held yourself up very well.
Thanks.
Out in the limelight, in the work setting, and out here, and But I know the demons you're probably battling on side are tough. And
man. It's super great to have such a big support system. But yeah, man, there's just stuff that goes on inside that we just kind of have to live it. You just gotta feel it out. I had to really reflect on my own mental health and the things that were passed down that I don't really have control over, that I just have to face.
Right.
And so I've definitely in the last year, 2 years, definitely done a lot more looking inward and just having acceptance, but also like being a lot more conscious of like, okay, yeah, I can definitely relate to what someone like my dad was going through with their thoughts and their feelings, because I felt that to some degree. And it's like I kind of want to cut that off at the pass. You kind of want to, like, I want to live to be very old, and I want to be, I want to have a happy, long, long, long life. And I always think about my mental health and my physical health. And I do that now more than ever after my dad's passing. Because it's like, yeah, man, those things are locked in together. And the way your mental health controls what happens with your future is very, very mental and physical. It's all very connected.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed that some of the most sincere people and reflecting are those who've dabbled or had thoughts of ending themselves. And for me, you know, I've had thoughts as well. And I've had close friends, and I've had friends who've gone that way. It's almost like once they go, and you wish you would have done something else. You wish you would have said something. You should have done, and try to reflect or try to take back those steps. But I don't know. It ain't easy.
Yeah, you reflect on their mortality and your own. And it's almost like you're forced to take those thoughts seriously, but not like, oh, go do something about it, but genuinely be like, is this really how you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Would this really be the step you might take? And I had to acknowledge that, like, no, like I've felt those uncomfy feelings, but I have not been in that level of pain.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it looks like though now, so maybe I can see it if it ever happens or goes down that path of, wow, this person's in so much pain that living is more painful than the alternative,
Right?
which is to us like kind of wild, but to those that have survived or not, like it's a really, really, really hard thing to face.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling. Yeah, it was man, it was yeah, it is. It's interesting to have to then sit with yourself and go, okay, well,
what could I have done?
Yeah.
Should I change it? And then I feel like I had dealt with that a lot more when I was younger. And the common denominator on all of those things was what I felt in myself and what I saw in others, especially those who were close, was their worth. They didn't think they had worth.
Yeah.
And that inspired part of that inspired me to start our nonprofit and create what I call the 5 principles of purpose. Career, community, spirituality, personal relationships, and health. And when all those go to zero, you really feel like your worth is not anything. And I've had 4 of them at zero.
Yeah.
And the only thing that pulled me out was my spirituality, was my, and I've talked about this before, and my wife hears this all the time, but there was a time when I put her before God, and I didn't do it verbally, right? I've always said God was number one, but action wise, and when I lost her for a little while when she left to Spain, and had I had God first, I wouldn't have lost myself that way, because I felt like I needed her more than I needed him. And it was a wild time at that time, but I think the common denominator that I've seen in people who go that length is that they don't feel their worth.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
They also, there's a level of like dread and hopelessness. Like my dad in particular had bipolar 2, and he had depression and anxiety, and at one point we thought he might have had like bipolar disorder. So he was struggling with a lot in what was going on in his head, just with his brain, just the chemicals and how everything worked. Something had changed. But when he first had his like emotional break, I call it that because I don't really know what else to call it. It was this incredibly scary time when they had this company and it was successful in one place, and then they moved to expand and add 2 locations elsewhere, and those 2 locations just tanked in a year, fell through. And my dad had this real intense reaction where he had like paranoia, depressive paranoia, where he had thoughts in his head that didn't connect with reality and didn't make sense. And it was like you were talking to somebody that you couldn't say anything to make them understand. You couldn't say anything to them to be like, what are you talking about? That's not going to happen. The cops aren't here to take you away. What crime are you talking about? You haven't done anything because your business failed. Like, you're good. Like, he had all these thoughts in his head that people were watching him. It was very, very scary. And that stuff, that moment was kind of a moment. It could ebb and flow into that over that period of almost a decade of him dealing with it. But it really put into perspective what you can't control and what you have to give over to someone else. Sometimes it just takes the intervention of a friend. Sometimes you need to talk to a professional. Sometimes you need to talk to a group of people who either are going through what you're going through and understand, or can at least right your ship and steer you in the right direction. Closest I ever have been to anything kind of spiritual was that 12-step program, and I find it to have been one of the most valuable places and experiences in my life. When I was in a really dark place, I mean, there were guys that didn't even know my last name, and they would literally offer me a place to stay, and did, because I needed a couch to lay on. I needed a couch to sleep on because my life was upside down. So you cannot deny that there is something incredibly powerful in that space with those people. I don't put anything like a name on it. I don't put anything like a face on it. I don't put anything like a denomination on it. That's actually not part of that program. It's just in the program they say find a higher power of your own understanding, which is not the same as find a higher power of some clergy's understanding or faith leader,
religious order.
It's not, and it's not anti-religion either. It's not any of that.
Right.
But I have always really, really found that concept of higher power of your understanding to be super important, because I feel, and you may not agree with me, and that's okay, that the way we all see what we think of as capital G God is not the same between everyone. I don't think if you asked 3 people in a room to describe God as they understand it, that they would describe the same person or the same power or concept or presence in their life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that there is anything that hurts anyone about that. I think it is super important that we remain like open to people's other experiences. And if I ever found myself moving towards like a denomination, like a brick and mortar place, it would probably be in Baha'i church. I don't know if you've ever heard of Baha'i faith system. Roughly, the idea of Baha'i is that this capital G God is working through all faith systems with the same idea of his teachings and his view on what humanity should do. So it's a very like hyper inclusive, very like, come all of you, and it's like this, like, this this like ship of misfit toys, and it's a very interesting faith system that implies that all these faith systems came about because of one kind of power, and that they're kind of only different, and that they had to accommodate like human systems throughout the world, and at a time when electricity didn't exist, and there were a couple guys out in the desert, and didn't know what to make of the world and how to understand it. There was a version of that, and these guys wearing horns on their head in the Nordic countries didn't know what to make of all this. And God was there in that way. So I found that'd be very interesting and kind of like a
ever encompassing.
Oh yeah, ever encompassing. And I tend to step back and look at what is so like incredible about the world that I do understand, that has been given an explanation, and then I also make room for the unexplainable and the middle between us and rocks and plants and cats and dogs. There is something there that it's just unknowable.
Right.
That is the magic. Not the magic, but it's just this
collection of
incredible
cells.
This collection of cells, that makes us human.
Right.
That I do find really, really fascinating. Yeah.
I agree. I think everybody's got a different relationship with God, and I think everybody has a different way to communicate. Some of us are good at some things, other things not so much. And one of the things that I've seen that's very flawed in humans has been this is one of those. Have you ever seen Urban Cowboy?
No. I'm familiar though.
Yeah, you're Athens, Texas. You ain't seen Urban Cowboy. So Urban Cowboy, Uncle Bob goes, "That's one of them 7 deadlies." So it's one of them 7 deadlies, pride. And when people get so much pride to themselves, right, and a lot of times it comes with power, right, and people obtain power different ways.
Yeah.
And there was a book I read that they recommended to me. It's called The 48 Laws of Power, or some number, maybe 50 Laws of Power. And it shows how people can attain power and different styles and strategies of getting power. And a lot of them are unethical, right? And but effective. And you can easily see how certain leaders have gotten power and have become very effective, unethical, and that's just a side effect, right?
Yeah.
So one of the flaws that I see in humans is this subject to falling to pride once gaining power. And you look at any high figure person who's deals with this stress, and you're able to pinpoint like, oh, I can find that in this book, right? I can find that. That's what you just did there.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about some of the leaders who I really respect, who I try to emulate as well, is this concept of sharing power, right? And when the tide rises for them, it rises for everyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And helps it helps build trust and build unity. And the biggest flaw in the Catholic Church, the biggest flaw in any foundational church system is division. And I mean, that's how the Protestant Church started. That's how all through division. And
These
you look
shards
at
from the
and you look at the religion or spiritual organization you just talked about, all inclusive, and it's the opposite of division. And that's what I mean, and how I interpret it, how you describe it. and who are the leaders in these religious organizations? You've got, at the community level, you have a pastor, a priest, a father, and when he abuses his power in a human way, not a way of God, not a way of Jesus' teachings, and not a way, and that is 10 times what gets thrown. I mean, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? And then you think of the organization, the church, the religion. It's like, hey, they didn't handle that well, so they're also bad. But all those flaws in power only create more division, right? And it's a human thing. It's not. I don't consider those things of God and the teachings and how they should be. A few years ago, the biggest thing was the Catholic Church's handlings of how they've dealt with pedophilia with minors, right? Protecting priests and you look at that and it's like, okay, first of all, how do you unwrap that? You lose half. I mean, it's unacceptable.
That's one of the most evil,
right? Unacceptable, hugest sins you could ever do, and some of the justifications that I've seen from faith leaders, right, is some of them they've blamed it on homosexuality, right? I mean, it's the sin of homosexuality that the reason.
See them bridge that.
Well, and their argument is it's that sin that is the reason, and that's not the whole church's handling. It's that sin, and I don't think it's that. I think it's power.
You're so right. I'm
because
with you.
part of me, I mean, if they had the opportunity to do that with a young girl, I bet they would, because of power.
Yeah.
But
the system is built on this idea of these young men, young boys being together in this way that Jesus and his disciples were together, which is a disgusting, when they take advantage of that, it's a disgusting way to use that tradition, or the tradition being this ritual, right? And I'm so with you. And power, it's like it definitely, I would say that when I talk about something like the Baha'i, it is very reflective of how I see the world, and that the world is made better as it is enraptured by or covered by everyone, with all of their views and all of the good and the bad adjusted for inflation, and and like all the wonderful things that make us human, all working together in communion. Like, to me, that is what life is. And so if I ever found myself going back to a brick and mortar denomination, it would be something that reflects my values, and my values are pretty much like humanist, closer to humanist, and absolutely we've seen the corruption at levels that are pretty profound, or at least these corruption, these systems of corruption and these conspiracies of corruption are like, they're more out in the open now than ever.
Yeah, there's
doesn't
way
make me
more.
think that they'd never existed. It's the same thing of like, oh, there was this, I think something in the like early 1900s or something. There was something about a surge in left-handed people. And it was this surge, and it was this surge of people dying left-handed of like injuries from being left-handed. And what they realized was, it's not that left-handed people just popped up out of some genetic anomaly. It's that left-handed people were being documented, and they were asking people what hand they wrote with. They hadn't been before. And so people were actually paying attention to the fact that people who are right-handed or who are left-handed, who are forced to use right-handed tools, they're like hurting themselves. So it was like, we just had an awareness. We opened our eyes. We collected that information. There's examples of that with other stuff, but I think the idea of us seeing this corruption out in the open in such a broad, scathing way, like you say, highlights absolutely that the power people are given that is way beyond what we should be foisting and using. is going to corrupt, and then also just it's actually, sunlight is good disinfectant in a way. I would love for none of those things to be happening, but I wouldn't ever want to live in a world where those things were and I was pretending that they weren't.
Yeah.
Where I was closing my eyes, putting my head in the sand and going back. Oh, well, let's go back when things were good. No, things are good because you stopped looking, because you weren't looking at the things that were bad, and you were under supporting, under representing all of humanity and all of the experiences. And I think we now live in a world where everyone's experience can be on your phone.
Right.
In
a 3-second video.
Yeah, 3-second video.
Boom, 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 boom.
You won't believe what these Palestinians are going. It's got to look like that. It's got to be some crazy.
Right. With a hook and AI title.
Yeah. But I'm so with you. I mean, it's pretty insane to see.
Right. I say all that because I feel like I don't think that's of the God I believe in the faith I practice.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we should. I don't think we should throw the baby out with the bathwater in the religions. And I think there's a place for unity in each of them. And we experience them where we feel accepted as well. And there's a portion of some religions aren't as welcoming or acceptive to. The way you were describing that one, it seems like it. I forget the word you used, but encompassing of the people who are not popular, the people who are not welcomed everywhere. Yeah. And it's like, what was Jesus' practicing? It was to the prostitutes. It was to the people who are not welcome. Yeah. And going back to it, light does bring sunlight. Sunlight cures things, right? When it's out in the open. And for many years, it was covered up for probably hundreds of years, right? Before we knew the readings of what were going on in different papacies. And,
oh my God, yeah.
And
crazy stuff.
And what I do know to be true is that the pendulum always swings back, or it's pushed back. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You got a movement of people who bring things out to the light, and then you've got that group of them who are throwing things in the light that aren't true. And so it always, it's like you have too many people pushing this way, and you grow this one bad apple group of people who are saying, claiming things happened that didn't, and then it pushes back like, all the people claiming. So it's the thing that I love the most about my faith is that it's been constant for so long, in its tradition. And the thing I can appreciate about a person, and you talked about your best friend, you can pick up right back where you left off, like nothing's changed, is somebody who of good character can go through these power swings up and down, and he's still the same person at the end of the day. And a lot of people connect well with priests and at their local level, right? And they put, but he's a human as well, right? And he has flaws as well, some greater than others. But you have to remember the real reason why you're there, right? And it's like, they rotate priests like every 8 years now, regardless of whatever, right? They don't stay there as they used to. And so sometimes you'll see some of our congregation go to different churches, follow the priest. And it's like, okay, what are you following? Are you following the message? They're probably following the fact that they were accepted by him, right?
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, we can go in circles about this, but the biggest problem in any religious organization is division, and ensuring that you're united at every level, right? At your family level, your nuclear family, at your local municipality government level, and at the national level, right? So much division. And it's so much easier to be able to be divisive than it is to be uniting.
I've always said, like, on the kind of political side of things, like, if you can vote, that's great, but the biggest change will come at the lowest level that you can access and change,
where you can get to know your politicians.
And I have to say, I really see that in you, and I see that with this organization, but I also just
say, I don't know if that's a compliment. Are you a politician over here?
No. You're not politicking. Like, I see in you this desire to make positive change at the level that you can.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have a poster, you don't have posters in lawns of people, of your people who want to vote for you or whatever. Like, you're just out there working within your immediate community to bridge access, to provide people opportunities, to lessen division. And there are going to be major changes that are positive because of what you did that don't have anything to do with who you voted for in the last election or the upcoming primaries. And I mean, honestly, I kind of envy that, because I always said, oh man, whenever I move back to whatever city I'll be at, I'm going to be Mr. Civil, civil man, doing all of the good in my neighborhood for my people. And you're actually doing that. You're actually putting that to work. And so, like, it's really cool to see, and it feels like the reflection of your beliefs and your views is happening in your action. I mean, yeah, I was raised Catholic, and we were always told, actions, not words. And also don't proselytize, but here I am. Join the Catholic Church. No, like it was always about, what you can do, not how well you can say it or who you can convince of your piety. It's like, no, get out there and help your man, help your fellow man, help your community. Do what you can at the lowest level, because that's what Jesus did. He actually looked down on these higher echelons and these upper systems of power and control. He thought nothing of them.
Right.
He thought that they were just fallen men and women who could just, they could bring themselves down to our level, and maybe they could understand what they've given up on and who they've taken advantage of. And you really hope that would happen. But at the end of the day, we can't change. Like, you're not doing this so that Washington sees that you did this. You're doing this because you understand how important it is to your community and the people around you. And the kids going to school, and like, it just feels very, very accessible, very like proactive, and you're building a community,
Building a purpose.
Yeah, man. It's
There
almost
you
like
go.
you're building a purpose.
Oh my God. Hey, and I will say, I can't believe I forgot to introduce you as a mentor for Building a Purpose.
That's true. Yes.
And you're so good with the kids and being able to connect with them. So
Thanks, man.
thank you for your kind words. And I think for me, it's all about the community. And when I say that, I mean, I'm only a product of the community, right? And I'm doing my best to plant the roots as deep as I can and help others to be that good beacon of leadership as the tide rises and sharing power.
Yeah.
What I will say is, I know you'll go back to Athens and be the vice president at Athens with your brother. He was gonna be the He's gonna be the mayor.
I'll be his campaign
There
manager.
you go. You got it, man. You got military, all the troops to support you over there. and
I'll rope them all in, man. I'll get them.
I don't know what the hunting community is like, but you get your shotgun out there, going right there.
I got some guns at the house, I may be a bleeding heart liberal, but I also like shooting doves. So.
Yeah, that's like opening week and an open can of beer, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So on that topic, what is your purpose in life?
Oh, man. I think my purpose in life is to reflect onto people themselves and to provide relief and catharsis and joy when people might need it the most. Like, I like just making people laugh, but if I could like live my superhero dream, it would be that there would be people in the audience that, you know, have lost a dad or lost someone they love or just came off of a really rough lot in life, and they just for some reason decide to go see a show, and myself and my fellow performers, by doing what we do, change their just hour and a half of their day to be a little better, and for them to kind of go like 2 points in the green direction instead of 5 points in the red direction, lower and deeper into whatever they're dealing with. So for me, it's like I'm here to entertain. I'm here to bring people closer to their best day on earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Never heard that before.
I'm
Best
a
of-
genius. What can I say?
I'm just a small guy from a small town.
Yeah, I'm
in
just
Athens.
a simple
Southern
small
boy.
town southern boy.
What's the best advice you were ever given?
It wasn't advice that was given to me. It was advice that I heard that my sister gave to my mom on my sister's wedding day. She was, or during like the few months before, she said to my mom, because this was the first or second kid that was getting married, and my sister was young, and my mom was really, really excited, but she was getting really in the middle of it all, and she was stressing about all the details, because it was a small wedding, and we were kind of all doing it together. And my mom was just in a flurry, and it was like there was a thunderstorm above her head, and you know, this is my sister's wedding, not my mom's. My sister's wedding. And so at some point, my sister just kind of slows my mom down and says, you know, this can be fun. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a good thing. We can choose to enjoy this. We can choose to make this a great thing. And I really liked that because I thought it felt to me like it could apply to anything. Like, life is supposed to be for living. Life is supposed to be enjoyed. It's not easy. It's not always fun, but you can make the choice. You know, you can make the next right choice. You can make the choice to not allow something that's supposed to break your spirit to do that. And I thought that was really interesting, valuable advice that struck me, even though it wasn't meant for me, because, you know, I'm so cool and easygoing. But yeah, like those internal like heart-wrenching, anxious, I'm gonna die moments, you can just decide like, this can be okay, this can be fun, I can enjoy this.
Yeah, don't miss the mark.
Yeah, and don't let an opportunity go by for you to have had a positive experience, even from something that wasn't
That's
positive.
True. Right.
You know. And also, one last thing that I thought was also good advice was, if you're worrying about something that is going to happen and you think it might go badly, just realize you're forcing yourself to worry about it twice. You're worrying about it right now when it hasn't happened and we know nothing. And if it doesn't go well, you might worry then too. Why waste your time worrying right now? Why waste your time feeling all these bad feelings for something you can't even predict? That was really useful too.
No, absolutely. What's something you thought to be true when you were younger, and as you grew older, you realized it wasn't exactly what you thought it was?
That I would be a stuntman.
Just because the rest of the family's throwing you around the house doesn't mean everybody else should be throwing you either.
I was probably like 9, and I told my mom as seriously as a 9-year-old could. I said, Mom, I have to be a stuntman.
What were you
can't
watching?
let me be anything else. Mom, if I try to be something else, you can't let me be that. I don't know. I was
Why?
watching enough. I think I was just watching enough cool action movies, and I could like just see stuntmen being cool and thought that was cool. What did I think to be true? That is that what you said? Think to be
Right.
true?
Something you thought to be true when you were younger, and as you grew older, you realized it wasn't exactly what you thought it was.
Well, I this will be controversial for you to hear, but
All right.
that the Catholic Church was the one true religion, and that it was the religion for me, and that it was what I believed in. Yeah, I remember being very like reluctant to accept the Catholic Church and being Catholic and having that belief. And then as I got older, I became very passionate, but to a fault. Like I would get into arguments with my girlfriend and essentially try to disprove their faith and prove mine. And
Yeah, you got into one of those scraps.
yeah, and also just I think I listened to the thing of what I felt to be true in my heart, and I just was like this. I was afraid to tell myself that I don't believe this, I don't believe in this, and it was hard to kind of face that. But yeah, it took a lot of time, and took me being on my own, and that was a kind of one of those realizations for me. I know we talked about faith, and certainly, by the way, I certainly respect everyone's faith systems. I respect how people.
This is something you thought to be true for
yeah,
you when
yeah,
you were young,
exactly, and that's the
then
way I
as you
see it.
grew-
It's like
as you grew
to
older,
me that has changed.
it's not what you thought it was.
To others, great, and also I don't also need to convince anybody
Right.
of anything. Like, man, we're
Well,
just figuring it out.
Yeah, you're practicing you, man.
Yeah.
We're all practicing us. There's no right or wrong answer. I think you just whatever you thought something for you to be true, and as you grew older.
But the first one was true too. I did believe I was going to be a stuntman.
You could be a Catholic stuntman. I'm just saying.
Swing wildly back into.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God!
No, I remember going to mass, and man, look at it. I barely at the 2.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we just got to the Gloria.
Yeah,
15,
man.
and
Oh
like,
man,
I didn't want to go to church. I didn't ever, and my mom would make us. And okay, all right. Let's do up this other conversation of 10 Commandments in the classroom.
Dude,
What do you think of that,
dude? I mean, one statement I can give you is there's a separation of church and state, whether we like it or not.
Right.
And I have a very, like I say, laissez-faire view on what people want to be and do and experience in their lives, as long as they're not hurting other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great that people can practice their religion. I think it's great. I don't think it's great when certain political systems are infiltrated by religious systems and then manipulated by those religious systems and completely bastardized. I mean, that's just how I feel. That's where I draw the line, man. How do you feel? And you could feel completely different.
Yeah,
That's fine.
No, I mean, good thing I'm asking the questions.
Dang it.
No,
We'll never get it out of them.
This is what I feel. And I'm a practicing Catholic. I'm not a perfect Catholic.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
yeah.
that's what practicing means, right?
Yeah, man.
You're doing your best.
That's true.
And I grew up, Judith and I, why would I go to church? Why was I excited to go to church? Because I'd get to see her. And then, but that got me there, right? Yeah. And then it's like, what's the goal? Yeah. A lot of people don't go to church for the right reasons, right? Yeah, it's like, I'll only go because I don't want people to say something bad. Or I only go...
Right.
And in this day and age right now where we're at, especially in our small, old community church that where the main generation who has been carrying that church is dying off now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're dwindling. I'm the youth, right? I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
I'm the youth of the church. And I mean, like, we don't have kids, youth groups the way we used to. We don't have all those things. And so to me, honestly, and I think even to Jesus, it doesn't matter what your reason for being there is, the fact that you're there and you have that opportunity to listen.
Yeah.
That at the bottom line, even if you don't want to be there, your mom made you, any reason, they're all acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will say about, and so with that in mind, with the church, with people, us losing this generation, us losing this generation to people who are not wanting to be religious, be Catholic, be whatever, turning to anti-theists, right? Like, and us losing a solid chunk of the boomers who are dying now. And boomers aren't 40 years old anymore. They're not. They're next. With keeping that in mind, the thing that bothers me the most, I didn't want to go to church, right? Like as a kid, and even now I have a hard time. Like, oh man, but I commit to it, and I'm disciplined about it, and I do my best practice. I worry that us. Okay, do I believe in the 10 Commandments? Of course I believe in them. I think they're great values. I think they're great tools to live your life by. Mm-hmm. Be good to your neighbor. Don't kill people. All those are great. What my biggest fear, in addition to separation of church and state, obviously, is the Bible thumping people in government are doing this to think that they're going to bring kids back into the church. When if I were to see and know that, oh, they're making me do this, I don't care what religion it is, even my own, they're making me.
Right. It's such a strange ad campaign.
I think it's going to repel more than it's going to.
Yeah.
And at least that's the way I was as a kid.
That's an incredibly thoughtful and nuanced view of this, because there's a pathway where you start saying what you just said, and you veer wildly into, well, yeah, of course the 10 Commandments should be there, because how will the kids know, and then how will they understand, and then that's how religion works, and like if only we had more control over, how we taught our kids, and blah, 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 and we start going down that road. But I think you make a really good point. And you're so right. Think of it from a kid's perspective.
Mm-hmm. We work with students.
You're already so annoyed sometimes to be at school. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids are just like, I'm ready to go home. Mm-hmm. And if their home was already the space where their parents are expressing their faith system and want their kids to be a part of it, and then they go to school and they seem to have no choice to just go and maybe have an escape before they're too bored and then they want to go back home. It does feel like you're not really thinking about the kids. You're thinking about how you will look reflected upon that decision you made for those schools.
Right.
And then you won't care what the kids do.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
kind of throw them to it's like using them as political fodder. Mm-hmm. The kids need this and the kids need that. Do you really know what the kids need? Or are you 99 in Congress making decisions for families who should have a choice? Because in my opinion, if that's the way we're going to go, we should have prayer rooms pointed to the east. We should have rooms for non-theists to discuss their humanist or lifestyle views. And then we start getting into what no Christian and what no other religion might want, which is now there's a space for everyone, which would honestly be more like it would bring the world, maybe bring that space closer together. But I think by not being that way and living in a society where we decide there's a separation, we give that freedom back to the individuals. We give that freedom back to the parents to decide for their kids if they are going to learn about the 10 Commandments. And it's super important that that choice remains with them and not with the state or the
right at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And I'll just use one more example of most. I'm going to make a bold statement here. Most Catholics take their kids. Most Catholics who go to church make their kids go to church.
Yep.
And what happens after they leave the house and they go to college? How many of those kids still go to church after they leave college? I know not a lot of them do.
No,
and even when we went to college, I would go. And you know what kept me going to church? When I became a part of the Mass. When I was embraced, when I was welcome. That's what helped me stay in the church.
Yeah.
When nobody could play guitar and the only one who could pseudo play good enough and sing with this.
I know like 3 chords, y'all. Let's go.
It's right. I'm playing Johnny Cash and
they're like, we're doing Ave Maria. What's going on here?
I'm like, I'm used to dueling banjos and no, right? But
I'm learning Darude Snowstorm over here. I can't give you.
But it was that. It's welcoming them to feel a part of the Mass and a part of the ceremony, a part of the church that kept me in it, not forcing it. And I wish the strategy would have. I wish the strategy of the Catholic Church would be different. But this isn't even the strategy of the Catholic Church. This is the strategy of your representatives at a state level. So I just we tend to benefit from it because I'm Catholic, right? I mean, it as a whole. But to my Muslim friends who I had met in different across it's like or whatever religion, right?
You have like a broader perception of
forcing a different type of religion on them. It's, I don't know.
But I would say one thing that, and I like that you brought this up because it makes me think, like, the one thing is absolutely undeniable, and I don't think many people, no matter whether or not they believe or not, can deny, is that church has a community that is unmatched. I mean, churches have a better community than most communities, most towns, even little small towns. Like, churches just inherently are built on a very socialized, not saying like social something politics, but socialized, human-run, human-led system that works. And
volunteer-based,
community-based, raising funds within the community, and feeding each other, and then maybe taking those funds and sending them outside of your community and help your fellow man, and like that is like inarguable. I think maybe there's some people that would think, well, it's blah blah blah. If the church is saying this, it really doesn't matter what kind of community they have. I would disagree. I think there is something super important about what faith systems provide to people in the form of community, because we don't have that. We don't have those spaces anymore. They call them third spaces. There's your job, there's your home, and then there's these third spaces. And community developers in this, dystopian hellscape. No, like there's like community developers that are really thinking about these kinds of spaces.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I'm not necessarily fighting for any specific faith system, but I'm almost like, you kind of look over at churches.
Yeah.
They kind of have it figured out, man. They have like a community center. They have a place to go to commune and be together.
For the kids to be.
The kids are, exactly. And it's like, there's your third space. So I am totally like, I think that that is like something that is almost prehistoric. That is something we have seen through eons. So I mean, we see that in tribes, no contact or limited contact tribes that we've learned about in the modern era. The level of community is just it's fundamental. It's human. It's just something we have in us that we have to express. And so it is really incredible to see that it's expressed in that way through these systems. Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'll tell you the thing that guilts me the most to and me and my wife, I'm like, should we give more? Should we? It's like, and we don't give much, so that I'm just gonna throw it out. I'm gonna say,
tithing.
I'm gonna say it. We don't do no. Everybody's like 10%, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Our church for sure deserves more from us. I mean, but in regards to my time, I'm doing as much as we can. But and then I don't know. I make excuses for why I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, all right. Dave Ramsey says, like, if you're in debt, you're going against God, and it's like, right? So I'm like, okay, so that's a good reason why I shouldn't be tithing. But then Dave Ramsey also says you need to be tithing. You know what I mean? So we could be doing more there. And the thing, that whole what you just described, the community based, when we for sure, me as a kid, were not able to give, like, couldn't give hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
We benefited from all those resources for decades.
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah.
And that's off of other people giving.
Yeah.
And so my style is give big once or twice and then all right. But sign up for a local straight from my wages, you know what I mean? Like
be reasonable, be pragmatic,
right.
Of course, but the fact that even is something you would do even once a year is still pretty great.
Right. And but that whole what you just described, that community based, that ecosystem that takes care of those who don't have, that's one of the things I sleep with, and like it butts me in the back. I'm like, man, they were there when we needed them as kids. And
man.
Are we leaving that? Me, now that I'm an adult and can work and do this, am I leaving that for the next generation?
Well, that's a great thing that's on your mind.
Right. Being aware.
There's a lot of communities where either people don't know about social programs or they don't exist. And so sometimes the social program is a church.
Right.
And it sounds like you grew up needing that and that was available to you. And it's pretty awesome. I think that people can say a lot, all they want about whatever, church did me wrong, or I've seen all these horrible things on the news about what the Catholic Church did. Yeah, it's not like they didn't happen, but you cannot deny the power of that community. You really can. I mean, I think it's pretty unmatched in modern day. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels that way.
No, it's good. Where are you on your faith journey? I know you kind of tapped on that, and this is your faith journey, right?
Yeah, not just my individual journey. Like I said before, I remain both deeply interested and fascinated with the known world and the work that we as humans have done to better understand it. Love it. I mean, truly, it's like one of how we have discovered all the things we have and understand the world better is one of the coolest things that humans have been able to do. How did we get Sputnik into space, and how can we still discover things that we've never seen on planet Earth? It's unbelievable.
With our antennas,
it's
right? Like
so
our eyes
cool.
are
yeah. It's like we still haven't discovered all of the known animals and things. And we haven't looked as far into the cosmos as we could. Really the most fascinating thing. And by that same token, there is unknown. There are things that make us human that, though there may be a very reasonable scientific description or understanding, there just is something that feels so amazing and unknown and unknowable about being a human and life and why we're here and what we're doing. And I do not feel comfortable ascribing a known or as of yet known deity or denomination or belief system over that. So that's kind of where I'm at in my journey. I don't actively participate in any specific group or faith system. I'd say the closest I got was, working with 12 steps, and I sometimes kind of play around with potentially going back and doing it. Not necessarily because like I'm at the bottom of the barrel and life's like in the worst place where it was when I first joined, but just almost like for that community, which is funny. It's like I'm saying like, oh man, I don't need church, I don't need this, I don't need that. But then you go do like stand-up comedy and it's like at 2 a.m. in the morning, you're like, fuck all these people. I don't want to be here. This sucks. I hate these people. This is my community. These are the people I picked. Most of these guys like are currently on drugs or no, but so there is that like I say, there's that undescribable feeling of community that I have. And so I continue to live in that world of like the unknown. It's a wonderful thing, and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to claim to know, but yeah, that's kind of my journey right now. And I remain open to like a lot. I am very willing to accept that we're in the Matrix, that a guy made us, that there's aliens. That's like I'm very like, cool, man. You show me the goods. I'm all in, like I am all in, like, but as of yet, there's no reason for me to draw that conclusion out of anecdote and kind of like half truths and descriptions of something, like I try to be very very pragmatic but also an egalitarian where like I'm acceptable. I'm amenable to a lot. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
It's not my way or the highway,
Right.
Yeah.
What whose death greatly affected you? I know we talked quite a bit. I have my suspicion, but I'll let you speak.
Yeah. I absolutely. Yeah. Losing my dad. Because I didn't have a great relationship with him when he was alive. I just remember not feeling accepted and feeling like the things I was passionate about didn't really mean much to my dad, and that like his support was a requirement and not a natural thing. But it wasn't all bad, and my dad would say to you, like he would say, "I love you." He'd hug us, he'd kiss us. He was a very loving guy, very strong Catholic. We just weren't on the same wavelength. And in the last like 3 years, 2 years, like 1 year, like not a lot of time, I started to grow to have a better relationship and understand him better, and so it was like I almost was mad at him because it's like we had so many more years to get closer and know each other better and understand each other as two men, and that was, that was kind of taken, but it wasn't his choice. It was his choice, but I don't believe that it was his choice. I believe he was in so much pain that this was the only way out. It's like people don't want to jump out of a burning building. They don't want to. They're doing it because the fire is so bad they would rather be outside dead on the ground than inside burning and then dying of inhalation. My dad was in a burning building, dying of smoke inhalation. He wanted to get out of it. So yeah, it affected the shit out of me, and I've had to accept that suicide is a natural thing. That's really hard to say. It is a natural thing. It's something that we as humans have decided is a solution to some of our problems. And I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's what we as humans have, a lot of us have decided. Yeah. And that I've also had to have the experience of, I'm not going to have that moment where he walks into the room ever again. And I'm also, as far as I can tell, not going to have that experience where he reaches out and touches. but I do have a bevy of memories, experiences, stories. I'll have a dream every now and then. He'll be there with me in a dream. I don't think of that as necessarily like him coming down, reaching through the void, talking to me, you know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not paying attention and he's like, wake up, asshole. But I just genuinely see it as like, yeah, he is still here in that I am here. So as I'd kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, man, that one was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say.
That's the last question.
No.
God, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I gotta leave on that.
It's just that's a great last one. That's a wallop.
Okay, maybe I'll move it around.
No, it's fine, man. If that was the last question, that's fine.
Yeah. No, you can still got things to promote. What are you talking about? You still got things to promote.
And on that, come see me at.
I'm a lot funnier than sad, all right?
Come see me at Comedy Sports Saturday.
If it's we're still in this death conversation though.
Yeah, that's okay.
If you were to die today and you only had one phone call to make to somebody living, who would you call?
Just to like scare them?
Whatever it is. It's like you leave on a bang.
Oh God, a final call. I mean, yeah, if I hadn't been able to, man, it's hard. It's a great
So
one.
many people.
That's a great one. Yeah, just one call.
One call.
Can it be a group call? Can it be a FaceTime?
Can you three-way?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna like give myself a gimme and say that my future wife will be there when I die. So then, like, we did get to say all those things. Okay, so we talked already. I'm saying this right into the camera. We did get to talk.
You know this.
You know this. You know how I feel. So, I would call. I'd call my mom. If she was still around, I'd definitely call her and. You know, I'd say all the stuff that she already knows about, but just kind of remind her how much it meant to me and how it made all the stuff she went through and all the life she's lived just made her a better person and how much she means to me. And so, yeah, I would definitely call her. Yeah, because you don't get to do that with somebody when they decide to check out on their own. So there's a lot I didn't get to say to my dad, and I went to his funny story, but I don't know why that just came up, but I went to his grave site, and we don't have the headstone there yet. And so I got down on my knees and I was alone, and I just like talked to him and cried and just wept and like bent over and just cried, and then stood up and realized I wasn't standing over his grave. It was like 40 feet to the right of his grave. I was like, shit. Oh, man. It's like, I hope you heard me, bro. Sorry.
Tell that to my dad for me.
Can you give him a call? Can you knock on his oh man, yeah.
That's totally something I would do, man.
Dude, I felt like it was the funniest, saddest, sweetest, weirdest thing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's super. God, I mean, man, it's like not every day to the people you love, you should call them and say all this stuff and have this like come to Jesus breakdown.
Yeah.
But you gotta try to find some time, anytime, to talk to the people that are so important and say the things that you appreciate, because you don't know. Like my mom has no desire to go anywhere, but you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, I would give her a call and let her know. Be like, yo, you did a pretty dope job raising us.
Mhm.
So yeah.
If I have here for kids, but what would you tell your future wife? If you can open it up some
Well,
more.
I would tell her to I've told her a lot. She's heard a lot from me, which is good. We talk a lot, but I would probably tell her to like slow down and take more time for herself, because I think that when people do that, they show up for other people better. Yeah, I would say don't work for everybody else. Don't do for everyone else. Do for yourself, and then you will show up better for me and for the people in our lives. So that might also be because I would say that to Christina today, and I have, but yeah, I would still say that to if I was 11 and I like knew, or like I don't know, like 19 and I was looking towards the future or something. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's for kids. That's actually kind of cool. Like you're like, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
you want to get married? What would you say? Have nice. I don't know. Have nice hair.
Man, I'll tell you this. I since I was like, I don't know, first grade, second grade, I've always wanted to get married.
Yeah. Me too.
Young,
Me too.
always. And I remember telling my mom, and my mom's like, "Why are you thinking about this so young? Why are you talking about this?"
Yeah.
And the only idea I can think of is just because I saw both my parents, and that's one of the best models or example of a
Yeah.
partnership that you see as a young age. When you see
Yeah.
their marriage has been ups and downs, but probably the most beautiful,
Yeah.
right? And they were so young. They were my mom was 16 when she was pregnant with me. But to see that I wanted to be married at a young age, and I don't know.
It's a huge thing. It's like the most important. It's the two adults you watch more than ever. I completely relate. That's how I've always felt. Similarly, like it's probably why I was like such a serial monogamist, because I'm like, I gotta find my
You're one.
Robin. You know,
Yeah,
my mom.
you're
My
Robin,
mom,
yeah.
right? Because it's work.
Well,
And they did so much work, and they were like so passionate, but also I saw it ain't easy. But I was like, I want that. I
Right.
want that challenge. It's like maybe like cool your brakes there. Maybe learn a little bit about life and then do it. But yeah, totally. I felt the
Right.
same way. I thought they were the best couple, the best example.
well, I feel like that's not the common though. Like to want to be married
Yeah.
so young, it's not the.
Yeah. Did you ever have a thing where you would talk about would you talk about your parents? Did you like your parents?
I love them. They
Like
were
when you
so
were
young.
like,
My parents are only 16,
yeah,
17 years
so like
older
when
than me.
you were like 15, would you be like,
So when I was 15 and my parents were younger than me now. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
man. Best friend. My dad's my best man at my wedding, and my mom, if there was
Yeah.
a spot, I mean, I could have made a spot for her at the wedding.
Yeah.
But
You-
it's harder to be higher than the mom. Of
right?
the
Well,
girl.
but I say that because it's like you probably felt the way I felt, which is like my parents are pretty freaking cool.
Mhm.
I like my parents, and then you'd have friends, you have people around you, be like, God, I hate my parents.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get out of their house. They're the worst thing that ever happened to me. They treat me this way.
Yeah, no, never.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I have since acknowledged that there's like the times that they were not doing well, they like showed that in front of us, and we all experienced that and had to be in that house while that stuff was going on. Nothing insane, but enough to like impact you over time, slowly, like a kind of chipping away. So I acknowledge that, and that's okay. And I've talked to them about it, but yeah, man, they're the best. They're like, well, they're like superheroes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just thought it was so weird that I didn't think it was weird then, but now I'm like, oh, I don't want my girls to be coming up here telling me about their future, but like, I gotta be ready for it.
You're
though,
like, man, if I'm
three
being a
girls,
good dad, they're gonna want to tell you everything.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the goal, man.
Absolutely, and they need to know that they can come to me for anything.
Yeah.
And it's more than me just saying that. They've got to feel it.
Yeah,
because if they don't feel it, they're not going to.
Yeah. It's how you show that to them. So how old are your kids?
Autumn, my oldest, she's 7.
Okay.
Then 3, and then 1.5. Well, she's about to be 4 in November.
Nice. Dang. That's such a great age.
Yeah.
Span too.
Well, it's so hard right now, man.
Dude, you're in the thick
I'm
of
like,
it.
you talk about you talked about what you wanted to give to your future wife. You want her to take care of herself so she can give more to others.
Yeah.
That was like freaking straight out of my mom's mouth. Man. She's like, you have a podcast tomorrow. You need to go to sleep early. So you're not this, and you're giving those people what, like, they give you their time. You come over, you be there, you pay attention. And I don't sleep very much. And my eyes are already chinito as they are, dude. So I'm like,
you already look like you're looking at something in the distance.
And then when I'm tired, oh man,
yeah, well,
it's like,
hey, I give a lot of grace to parents, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm not one, but I got brothers and sisters, and I got people in my life, and that's what it does to you.
Everybody says it's physically hard, and it is physically hard right now. And they say it only gets harder, and it's emotionally harder later.
Yeah, right, right.
And that's
right.
It'll take a toll. But man, physical sure feels like it sucks right now.
After they've completely broken you down physically, they then get inside your head, and they just make you just like, oh my God, don't die, don't run into the street, don't become don't join the circus. You know, it's like, but that's just like the magic. That's the cool thing about being a parent. You do get to go through these special moments,
right? Well, okay, then I'm going to go back to another thing. Your sister said to your mom, right? It's like, I love my parents to death. My dad's delivery on some things when he was a kid wasn't the most effective in getting us to learn and getting us to do things, right? And I remember being so scared to ask my dad a question twice, especially about fishing, especially about, because then it's like, you ask him twice, he's just pissed off. Right?
About something he's passionate about.
Yeah. He was just, and so I'm like, okay, if I want the girls to have a good experience in these things, what do we have to do? We got to make it happy, right? You got to make it, enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
And instead of me being pissed off because they busted the fishing line or they this or they that or they got it tangled up, it's like, no. Those are all, don't sweat the small stuff, man.
Yeah.
Focus on, and we had the best time.
That's awesome.
We had the best time this last time we went fishing.
Oh.
Man, it was amazing. Probably one of my top 5 best times of my life.
Wow.
Like to be doing those things with my kids and my wife, to be there, my mom, my dad, and little competitions, everybody catching fish. I mean,
yeah,
I forked up the cash for all of it, which wasn't too nice, but I'd do that and pay triple what we paid for a moment like that again, and golly, and had I known, and it was supposed to be it was my mom's birthday party. It was her birthday party, and she was out there working too and making this moment for all of us. And remember to enjoy it, right? The purpose of what you're there for, and being a parent, it's a constant. You have to constantly remind yourself to do that.
Yeah,
because when they wake you up and they punch you in the face, like I'm talking about like a punch. My older one punches hard, man. Like you can hear that.
There's a better way to wake me up,
sweetie. Like, come on. Golly. And the other one jumps on you, hits you in the nuts, and you're like,
pull out a bat thinking you're getting attacked, and it's just my sweet daughter telling me to wake up.
But then it hurt in that moment, but then the next day you're like, that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, that's so fun. Like, I can't believe I got to get
nobody will ever wake you up like that again. Yeah. Especially after that talk I had.
Nobody that likes their fists, not broken. That's an adult man, or that's so. I love hearing that you're doing that with your daughters and that you're being so intentional, because I know my parents did that too. They did so much intentional, just trying to make special moments. They were not wealthy. I remember they would make a special moment out of going to an Embassy Suites in Dallas. Like, that was our Disneyland. It was. And I don't look back and go, they didn't get me to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I never get to be a boy. It's like, no, you don't realize how much fun we had going to the pool and then running down to the racquetball court and playing racquetball with Dad, and then eating the cheese dip in the lobby that was free. And like, those memories are the foundation. But more importantly, now that we're all adults, we don't see each other all together.
Yeah.
The times we see each other together,
When's the last
classic.
time?
Dad's funeral.
Yeah.
3 years ago, right? Or 2.5 years ago. So, like, I see my brothers and sisters doing their best to do exactly what you're doing, and I'm very happy to see that, because hopefully it's not lost on them how that can be here for now, and it can also, there's a point where it isn't like that, and that's just how life is, and that's okay. Your kids are going to have kids, and then there's going to be new opportunities. But don't forget that, you know, this stuff right now, this is the stuff. That's like the gold dust. And Christina and I, our wedding, we are planning to literally just do immediate family in a giant Airbnb. That's it. That's what we want our wedding to be. We just decided, we're too broke to have a real wedding. We can't do all the stuff that we fantasized about, that Christina thought about as, like, you know, when she was 14.
Our wedding was super cheap, man.
Same. And that's what we're doing. Super cheap. You know, we're like, people are helping us, and it's their best. But we do want it to be, I want it to be a little slice of the past when we were all in the same house together. And it was madness. And there were little ones of us, and now we were the little ones, and now there's little versions of everybody, and I want them to all be running around and breaking shit. Yeah, like breaking stuff and jumping in the pool and screaming and then I want all us adults to, like, enjoy the fact that we all get to be here and reflect. And so we're definitely guilting all the family as much as we can.
Yeah, better go.
Like, what's it going to be? Either this or another funeral. What do you want?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it is so important.
Hey, I mean, this is the good thing for people to come to, right? Like, this is, you don't want to have to go for another bad thing.
Yeah, man.
And then when you go for that bad thing, you're gonna be missing one, because it's probably gonna be one of them.
Exactly. It's gonna be one of us of the mix. And I always say, like, I also told one of my siblings, like, this is one of the last celebrations of our generation, because we're all married. I'll be married, right? Like, pretty much everyone that's gonna have a kid has had a kid. There might be a few more on the way. And then, honestly, we're looking down the barrel in our generation of just 50th birthday, 40th anniversary, and then maybe death. So it's not all about us, and that's the cool thing about life, is then it becomes this new generation of people. But yeah, let's enjoy these ones where we are at this age, and we do get to do this. Yeah,
no, that's good, man. I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful.
I think it will be.
Let's jump into some rapid questions. Nothing I got written down. These are tough.
I like that this went much later than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It's totally.
You got your wife calling? Where
Let me see. Okay, she was just giving me some info. We're good.
House is on fire.
Yeah, right.
So you leave her at home cooking. No, I don't even know her.
She does hate cooking.
Does she?
I won't say she's bad at it. She just doesn't enjoy it. So I like cooking. It works out.
I'm not good at it either, and neither is my wife. But we
together.
We try.
You're like a little less incompetent, but alone you're probably like
horrible,
dangerous.
Yeah,
lethal.
Exactly. Favorite band of all time?
Oh, dude.
Told you it's gonna be hard. Only one.
Flipping sticks. Of all time.
Yeah, I'll let you mumble a couple off to the side. As like
yeah. Let me think.
But then you say one.
I think it would be Ben Folds. He's technically he's an
artist,
but he had Ben Folds 5, which was a band. Amazing. He used to do improvised classical music. Like his band wasn't that originally. He was like kind of like a singer-songwriter, kind of soft punk band. But he's so good at making music that he would go to these big concert halls and get an entire orchestra, and he would improvise an entire orchestra into music, which is just insane. So
Ben Folds. Okay, I was gonna.
Ben Folds 5 was his original his original.
So is he your favorite artist too, or who's your favorite artist?
I think just as a whole, yeah. I think he's like the best, an amazing writer, and just a really good performer.
Okay.
Ben Folds.
Favorite song of all times?
Oh man. I really like Atlantic City by the band. I don't know why. I'm a music guy, not a lyrics guy. So the lyrics have no relevance to me. It's just a really nice.
Have you heard "This Will Destroy You"? They're a real. Hold on. What did you say? You're a music guy or a lyrics guy?
I'm a music guy.
Okay, no lyrics in it. Okay.
Yeah, I can do lyrics. I just don't listen to them.
Okay. Yeah.
But what is this?
This Will Destroy You.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Man.
Yeah.
That's some deep, good, powerful. Like it's almost rock, but like slow.
Okay.
Yeah, check them out.
Do you know Explosions in the Sky? Listen to them.
Same.
I don't know. I'll have to listen to
This Will Destroy You.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that, and you check out Explosions in the Sky. They're good.
Okay, yeah. So who was the one you said?
Oh,
song of all time?
It's the band called The Band.
The band.
And it's the song Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
It's just a.
Okay, you want to sing the music?
No.
Since you can't sing the lyrics, you want to sing the music?
I think there's a lyric. Everybody dies. Yeah, that's a fact. When everybody. Oh man, I don't know. Look at this.
Yeah,
Cut that out. That was so lame. I don't even know a quarter of one lyric. It's a great song. Though. It's a really good song.
Favorite movie of all time? Just general genres, and I'm gonna ask one specific genre.
Okay. Gotcha.
All the genres.
Gotcha. Of all of them, man, it was for the longest time. It was The Shawshank Redemption. For the longest time. And then I think I think I really still love a movie called Children of Men.
I think I've seen that.
It's a dystopian, futuristic action movie with a lot of like really long single takes that are like 5-10 minutes long, and it's all choreographed, and it's beautiful. Beautiful story.
Recent?
No, like 2010, 11. But man, it holds up. It really holds up. Yeah.
Have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite comedy movie?
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
It's the do you know The Lonely Island? Andy Samberg. Andy Samberg, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's the lead on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
He was on SNL for a long time. Andy Samberg, Kiva Schaffer, Yomer Tacone. These three guys are The Lonely Island. They're the guys that do comedy, like rap music.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that did I'm on a Boat, and I jizzed in my pants. Sorry, it's the name of the song. But they were cast in this when they first joined SNL, along with Bill Hader and some other really hilarious people. And it is just one of these oddball comedies. It's so much fun to watch. It's like a movie. It's like a movie that when you watch it, you feel like you're 14 again. But it's so fun to watch over and over and over. There's little jokes you didn't catch that just
Yeah. Mine is The Three Amigos.
Oh, dude,
I love the Three Amigos.
Dude, me and
there's so many comedies. So
Dude.
I it's hard, but I've
so
watched
glad
it on
you
so many
said that.
times. Like,
yeah,
my little buttercup. Here we go. Has sweet little- It's Smile.
Dude, Christina and I just watched that
Did
this
you?
last year. I love it. I was
Oh.
like, that was one of the ones where I was like, baby, you have to see this. This is like comedy. This is
Yeah.
comedy.
Yes.
Chevy Chase, Steve Martin,
Steve Martin, Martin Short.
Dude, those three
Freaking-
unbeatable. And then together, dude, a next level. You're so right.
You know,
It's such a good movie.
I got to meet Jefe.
Really?
I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast,
Dude.
But I met him because he's in San Antonio now, or he comes very often. He has like a nonprofit or something. And
That is
dude, me and my dad
amazing.
back and forth have quoted like Jefe and Pletura, and when I met him, I was with my friend who was on the city council at the time, Ray, and another councilman walked
Yeah.
in. He was talking to him, and Ray tells me, he's like, "Hey, that's Tony." I forget his last name, Tony Playa or Plata, and I'm gonna have to cut that out. But Tony's
Maybe put yourself in saying the right name.
Yeah, Tony Plata.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I gotta
Yeah.
take some notes here.
just open your mouth
That's Tony
and
Plata.
then have it come out.
and he was in a bunch of movies, like
Yeah.
and I go, what movies was he in? He goes, isn't it for comedy in the 80s? And I looked him up. I was like, dude, that's fucking Jefe.
Dude!
From Three Amigos. And he goes, you want to go try to meet? I was like, let's go try to meet him, man. So I go up to him, and he went straight into character, man. Like, what a
He went into
he
character?
he was like, Jefe. He goes, El Guapo, I do not have your intellect and your capability, but could it be that once again you are mad and looking to take it out on me? And man, I wanted to kiss him, man. I
That's
hugged him. I was like,
amazing.
that was my whole childhood. Like me and my dad said
Dude.
that over and over. I went back to work because it was a lunch work, and we went into the skiff because I was working at some place.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everybody, everybody thought I just seen Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I just saw Heaven.
That's
for
my Taylor
3 hours.
Swift, man.
I was so pumped, man. I mean, that was my biggest fan moment. I mean, just because I can't even count how many times me and my dad watched that movie. Like thousands, man. Not even kidding. Like, look over here. Look over here. I mean, we know all of them.
The initial scene when they first walk into the bar and they still have no clue, and the way they're just so arrogantly
Arrogant,
like,
confident.
how's everybody? Yeah.
Real bullets, real great.
And they just like out stupid themselves.
Yes.
It's such a that is one of those ones you can rewatch it.
Yes.
That's how I feel about Hot Rod. That's
Hot
how
Rod.
I feel about Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Love Tropic Thunder. That is like one of the best performances ever. Is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
unmatched.
Jack Black, man.
Dude, Jack Black in it,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
losing
yeah.
his mind, doing like coke in the rainforest, and like wearing I think he's the one that kills the panda, or no. But Ben Stiller has to
Ben
wear the
Stiller.
panda. Oh my God, that's another one of
Yeah.
those ones. Yeah. Oh, what was your favorite movie that was a non-comedy? Because I never.
You ready for this?
I didn't get to hear it back. What?
Of all time,
Yeah,
Lion King. Hands down.
that is a really good one.
That one, I mean, that's my whole life story. Right there. We had a ranch in Mexico. My dad's like, mijo, everything the light touches. And it was just like a big picture like that. It wasn't it wasn't a real sunset. It was a picture. Everything the light touches in that picture, that's gonna be yours. But the ranch in Mexico was a huge ranch.
That's
It was
awesome.
on a hill that was on a dried out lake. So
Wow.
it was massive, and we'll
That's
tell ranch
amazing.
stories forever. But yeah, Lion King. And then when the dad died, when Mufasa dies, dude, man, I still tear up. Like, Dad, wake up! Oh shit, man. Lion King, yeah.
El Rey de León.
And my sister, she calls me Rafiki. And
Oh,
I call her
love it.
Tia Baboon. It's so
That's
weird. Like,
love it,
the
man.
monkey's her uncle.
Timon and Pumbaa, perfect comedy combo.
Oh,
They are a perfect
unmatched.
duo.
Unmatched. Hakuna Matata.
Yep.
So, last one. Favorite actor. I mean, not actor, comedian. Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Well, I did say Andy Kaufman
hmm
before.
Of all time.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Honestly, somebody that I can watch again and again and again. and he doesn't really do it anymore. Zach Galifianakis. He started
I
out.
don't think I've ever seen any of his stand up.
Oh man.
I've only seen his Between Two Ferns.
Yeah,
He's
and
good.
it's like less angry version of that, kind of like
Okay.
Insanity, where it's like his comedy is a little more esoteric. Watch Zach Galifianakis live at the Purple Onion. That's for a lot of people their introduction to him. One of the best comedy specials I've ever seen, ever. Just because it just encapsulates him so well, and like everything he did afterwards was an extension of that thing. And then also the Comedians of Comedy, which is an incredible comedy tour documentary. It's got him, Maria Bamford, and two other, I think Patton Oswalt and another comic. But either way, an amazing tour documentary. Just like funny. They're doing bits the whole time, and it's like stage-worthy bits, and they're just doing it in a van, just stuck in a van, trying to get to Milwaukee, and they're just dropping the funniest shit you've ever heard. So yeah.
Okay.
Who's
Zach
yours?
Galifianakis. Of all time, that's so hard, man.
It is so hard.
I was gonna follow up with who's your favorite right now? Like, it could be local, from around here. It could be just favorite right now.
Yeah. Jesus. Do you have one
My favorite local right now.
right now?
See, I almost want to say Bill Burr is my favorite of all time, but
Yeah.
I haven't known him long enough. You know, like
He is so good.
oh, he's gold, man. And the other part where I get extra points to being my favorite of all time is I can tap into his mentality of how I could be funny that way. Pseudo.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's him authentically, right?
Yes.
But when you can like really like even, I mean, we've gone through different things. He's older than me, all that reasons why. But those are reasons why. I mean, he's my favorite right now for sure. And of all time, I feel like my mathematical mind of thinking is like, how many people have I laughed at and count all those laughs up over time?
Yeah. I try
And
to
so
do that
like
too, yeah.
I'm like that. That's why I hesitate to say him because his only been like over the last 10 years or so. But like growing up, right? I mean, it's so man. And then I don't know, 5 years ago it was probably Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah,
and
he
his
was on
stuff.
a run.
But 20 years ago, I wasn't into the Chappelle show too much, and
Really?
I didn't. I like the skits, but it wasn't my cup of tea, and I know a lot. My dad loved the Chappelle show,
Yeah.
and one of the skits, the guy who kills himself because he finds out he's black, and he
Yeah, the blind Ku Klux Klan.
yeah,
dude.
black, I mean, like genius.
I mean,
right?
it is perfect.
And it's
a
so
perfect
metaphoric
sketch.
too, right?
It's
It's like-
it's a perfect sketch. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you could. It's like it's one of those ones where you're like, Jesus, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah,
It's so like he found those moments where it's like, oh my God, he thought of that. No one thought of that. Are you kidding?
Yes.
It's so perfect. I would say that my right nows,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard because I've always been really attracted towards comic actors as well, and like sketch performers. So like I grew up loving SNL and Mad TV. I was a huge Mad TV guy. Probably more so than SNL for a long time. And so I loved like Will Sasso. And I was a huge Chris Farley fan.
Chris Farley, dude. I love
Chris Farley. As
Hell
far
yeah.
as like,
what'd you do?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's wrong with it, Richard? I mean, Chris Farley is probably my favorite comic actor of all time.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah,
His
you've got like
energy is-
Martin Short's there too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, there's some pros. But yeah, comedy right now. I mean, there's some local guys I really love. Alonzo Cantu is amazing. This is his podcast shirt. I only promote it because
Bad first
I know.
impressions.
It's
Yeah.
Bad First
I've seen him.
Impressions.
I see you on his
that's the one
podcast.
I've
yeah,
shown you on. Yeah. Alonzo's amazing. He's a weirdo. He's like, he's one of those people that there's comics you watch where you're like, wow, he's really funny. He writes really good stuff. And then there's other comics where you go, he's writing really good stuff, but he's also just a person that is hilarious. I could just watch that guy talk and tell you anything. He could read the phone book and I would like it. So he's amazing. John
Yeah.
Tuttle, also really exceptional comic. Michelle Cantu here in San
Cantu,
Antonio.
yeah.
Excellent. I really like Sam Talent. He's not local, but he is a comic that is slowly blowing up. He's got probably like a 5-year lift where he's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. He's like a genius, just a genius. He writes books. You can tell his brain has no end, no depth, but he's just so funny. So funny. And then Stavros Halkias is really good. Really good. He has a show called Stavi Baby where he has a guest and they call in and he gives them advice. And he's also like ridiculously smart and like he has like his crazy emotional intelligence, but he's also like talks about his little penis and like it's just I love a mixture of someone who is very smart but can use their intelligence to be very dumb. That is like my favorite skill to use on stage. Is to my favorite thing I'll ever say is the joke where I know it's a joke but the person goes, that's so wrong, that's so stupid. They don't understand that I understand it's stupid. That is my favorite thing to do. So if I can convince an audience member that I am...
You crossed the line.
Yeah, that I have like been hit in the head by a donkey and I'm like going on stage like, this guy's a moron. I was like,
you like that?
That's what I want.
One on you.
Yeah. It's like, it's a thing. Yeah.
I guess if I had to say my favorite of all time, and mostly because I'm counting up laughs, and his style of comedy is very much so like I feel like mine is. He's Mexican. Was probably Gabriel Iglesias, probably Fluffy.
Yeah. You know he's here a lot.
Yeah. Oh, he lives here now.
Yeah,
he lives in New Braunfels apparently.
Smart.
But I mean, yeah, just from his stuff from the beginning, when he talked about how Indians, when they talk, they go sideways, and Mexicans talk like
he was incredible.
I mean, and his storytelling style. I feel like everybody has, but it's so Mexican that every Dios talk like that. Every Dios told the story for 20 minutes and then it builds up and then you come back, right? You come back. And I feel like that's also similar to my dad's style.
Yeah.
And then, but people would also say my dad's very like George Lopez style.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say George
everybody
Lopez
was like, but then see, every time they tell my dad, he's like, oh, you're like George Lopez, you're like Fluffy. He's like, nah, I hate those dudes. Like, he's like, they took it, but yeah, they went mainstream. They became very popular.
Like, they took my thing.
I've been doing this without them before, and they just went on TV and did it, and it's like, but the fact that they're both authentic, both the same.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's just embedded in the culture, and I mean, for years I laughed at his stuff.
They're cut from some pretty.
I haven't seen any of theirs. I went to his concerts or his
nice.
when he was not a concert. I went to his show at the Frank Irwin Center when we lived in Austin.
How long ago was that?
I guess before my daughter was born, so probably 10 years ago.
Wow.
And the Irwin Center's not there anymore. So
yeah, I was just gonna say that's.
Yeah, so we saw him, and I can probably count on one hand the number of comics I've seen like in theater. So I'm like, okay, I'm checking off all these boxes to be a greatest. Like I've got to see him.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. You have to if you see they're coming through, you have to be like, okay, I gotta get tickets.
Yeah.
If they're not that person, then it's like, yeah, you probably enjoy them incidentally, if they pop up on your feed. But
right.
Yeah, there are a couple comics like that where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy tickets. I'm gonna see this person.
You named a lot of local, but who's big favorite right now?
Yeah, definitely. The last like two names I said, Stavros Halkias, not local. He's huge.
He's huge. Okay.
All over the place. And then what else did I just say? Either way,
Andrew Santino, man. I've been
great. Bobby Lee, I love Bobby Lee.
Yeah, Bobby Lee.
Bobby's my guy.
I feel like I saw him on Dave.
He was great in Dave.
He was good, man. And then I was like, I gotta listen to him. And I got to see him at the Aztec Theater.
Yeah. I like him. He's He is a level of energy that is like really special.
But he's also very competent and poised. So like,
Yeah,
and then he can
right.
get down in the rug too, like get down on the ground, and he comes back up and like, and then, but he also has like a very arrogant attacking style too.
Which it's so funny because when I watch him, there's part of me that's like, and you know why? Because I do him.
Yeah.
Like I don't actively. He's not like an inspiration, but I know how
You get
I
into
perform,
that energy.
and I've seen him, and I'm like, we're kind of similar, and so yeah, I'm just like seeing my reflection like a dog and wanting to bite it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm as good as Andrew Santino, but for a non-ginger, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
You know.
From Athens, Texas.
Yeah.
He's
Athens.
from Chicago. Or
Yeah, he's from Midwest somewhere.
Midwest,
Yeah.
okay.
And then I grew up watching Bobby Lee like on Mad
On
TV.
Mad TV,
Loved
yeah.
him. He's my favorite. Yeah. That's so funny. I said somebody else, but watch back.
Yeah.
I
We'll
said
roll it
that.
back. We'll roll it back.
Yeah, roll it back.
Are you promoting anything?
Yeah, actually. So on my Instagram at Haynie Sam, that's HaynieSam, I promote my shows. I do shows in Austin at Pinballs and Lake Creek Pinballs. That's where I do comedy sports in Austin. So I do a family-friendly show. So you can go see me do family-friendly comedy. And then I do dirty shows later after that in the evening. So go to that show. It's a lot of fun. Austin, Texas. Really affordable tickets. Good show. Bring the kids. And then I do shows here and there around San Antonio area. I frequently go on to Alonzo Cantu's show, Bad First Impressions, at badfirstimpressions.com. I'm a frequent call-in and guest. I do my own stuff I talk about on my own social media. I'll do funny stuff. I'll do impressions of Donald Trump calling me on FaceTime constantly because he's always calling me. I do.
What do you think about tariffs?
Well, a lot of people are saying we don't want to focus on the tariffs because this Epstein guy is a nasty guy. He's a very nasty guy. And I say, let bygones be bygones. He's gone. No more. I gave you eggs.
And so I do that. I talk about JoJo Siwa. If you guys hate JoJo Siwa as much as I do, I talk shit about her. And then in the near future, I am producing and putting together my own YouTube channel, my own show. It's going to be called Never Ending Winning. It is a satirical YouTube channel where Donald Trump sits down and looks back on his illustrious career, watching old clips of himself, and talks about how much he's winning and how great he is and how awesome his life is. So you get to see me in full Trump face doing fun stuff. It'll
That's
be fun.
cool.
Yeah, look for it. Check me out.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate the time. And one more thing. How can people connect with you? I know you through your Instagram. Instagram's the best way.
Best way is, yeah, I'll spell it again. HaynieSam. Just DM me. I'll hit you up. And you can also reach me. No, that's it. If you live in San Antonio and you run into me, just say hi. I try to keep it up there. Instagram.
You heard it there, folks. San Antonio's up and coming comedian right here. Sam,
Thanks again.
thank you, brother.
Seriously, this was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.